Chapter 484. In order to make others look down on him, he had to constantly pretend to be a pig to eat a tiger. A grand massacre was all that was needed to make people tremble in fear. 10 million Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm Devil Spirits were knocked unconscious by Ning Fan's devil might. Only the 800 Divine Transformation Realm Experts and 11 Void Refinement Realm Experts could remain conscious under Ning Fan's aura force. The 800 Divine Transformation Realm Devil Spirits were so frightened by Ning Fan's display of killing 3 Void Refinement Realm Devil Spirits in an instant that they could no longer maintain their composure. One by one, the Divine Transformation Realm old monsters crawled up from the ground with difficulty, but they could not stop their bodies from trembling. Lord Qian-Gui, we are no match for this demon. What should we do? Why don't we retreat? Countless Divine Transformation Realm Devil Spirits suggested to Qian-Gui and the other Void Refinement Realm Experts. All of the 10 Void Refinement Realm Experts fell into silence. Qian-Gui was the only one who gave Ning Fan a deep look. The fear in his eyes gradually disappeared. There's no need to retreat. I have the confidence to kill this kid. Qian-Gui's solemn vow of assurance was absolutely shocking. Just a moment ago, Qian-Gui was still afraid that Ning Fan was going to die. Now, however, he said that he had the confidence to kill Ning Fan. It was really hard to believe. None of the 800 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators thought that Qian-Gui was Ning Fan's match. However, after the other 10 Void Refinement Realm Experts scanned Ning Fan with their spirit sense, all of them were like Qian-Gui. I see. The palm strike that this young man threw out just now instantly killed 3 Void Glimpse stage experts and consumed more than half of his magic power. With that kind of magic art, he can at most launch a second palm strike. It's impossible for him to launch a third palm strike. The magic power that these old monsters mentioned was naturally referring to Ning Fan's essence chi. The execution devil palm was indeed powerful. However, it also consumed a lot of essence chi. In the past, a single palm strike would deplete all of his essence chi. Now that his essence chi had almost doubled, reaching 9 million units, he could only launch 2 palm strikes at most. At this moment, almost everyone was certain that Ning Fan would exhaust all of his magic power after sending out another palm strike and he would be at the mercy of his enemies. If that's the case, as long as I force Ning Fan to use the second palm strike and exhaust his magic power. No matter how strong Ning Fan was, as long as his magical power was depleted, he would be at the mercy of others. 800 Semi-God Realm Cultivators, listen to my command. Form the Tu Zhuan formation. Kill this demon with all your might. At Qian-Gui's order, the 800 Semi-God Realm Warriors turned into beams of light and formed a great formation. This formation had gathered all the magic power of the 800 Divine Transformation Realm Cultivators. The grade of the Grand Formation was actually at the high grade of the Mortal Void Realm. It could even harm a Void Pierce stage expert. Qian-Gui sure had a good idea. He used the 800 Divine Transformation Realm Cultivators to offset the force of Ning Fan's palm strike. After that, he used up all of Ning Fan's magic power. Fellow Taoist Zhou, no, Master, they want to use the Great Array to consume your magic power. Don't fall for their trick. Leave this Great Array to Su Yan. It's more important for Master to quickly recover his magic power. Su Yan gently walked away from Ning Fan's embrace. Her eyes were filled with determination. Since she was already Ning Fan's devil concubine, she naturally needed to help him block the rain of spears and arrows. She was willing to take the risk to deal with the Tide Revolution Grand Formation alone just so that Ning Fan could conserve his magic power and recover it. Save your strength for the Misthorn clan's traitors. I can handle this battle. Ning Fan pinched Su Yan's chin and took a step towards the Grand Formation. His eyes were as calm as still water. After activating the power of the Heart Formation, he could tell that the Tide Revolution Grand Formation used the 800 Divine Transformation Realm Cultivators as the actual formation eyes. Other than that, there were another 6,400 illusory formation eyes. The traces of formation marks were like a complicated star map. The 800 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators were constantly changing their positions in the formation. They activated their magic power and moved like the stars on the star map. Traces of the power of the Big Dipper technique turned into countless meteors that fell towards Ning Fan. Each of them was 1,000 zhang in size, and each of them had the destructive power of a Divine Transformation Realm cultivator. If you use the palm strike you used just now to break the grand formation, you will certainly exhaust all of your magic power. If you don't want to waste your magic power, even if you manage to break the grand formation, you will certainly be severely injured and your combat power will be greatly reduced. So what if your devil might is strong? You will still be killed by me in the end. Qian Gui's cold laughter resounded through the clouds. He intended to provoke Ning Fan and distract him so that he would be injured by the formation. Ning Fan did not even look at Qian Gui. Facing the countless falling meteors, he just raised his palm and activated his essence qi. Immediately, heaven and earth trembled. 108 seals, execution devil palm. When he threw out a palm strike, layers of palm imprints spread towards the sky. Devil qi blotted out the sky, making it seem like there were 108 layers of devil heavens. The destructive power of this palm strike was on par with immortal Emperor Mo Zhong when he was young. The destructive power of this palm strike had the terrifying devil qi that could kill 108 void glimpse stage giants. He was not a void inquiry stage cultivator but a mid-reckless devil realm cultivator. Boom! The stars that were formed by the 800 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators were shattered by Ning Fan's palm strike. The blood of countless Divine Transformation Realm cultivators dyed the vast sky red. The vault of heaven was shattered and the meteors were crushed. Fresh blood rained down on the 100,000 mountains like rain. It was as if the end of the world had arrived. Qian Gui and the other Void Refinement Realm devil spirits were shocked. They had once again witnessed the terrifying destructive power of the execution devil palm. Then, all of their faces were filled with joy. One after another, they dashed towards Ning Fan fearlessly. They did not have the slightest bit of sympathy for the 800 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators who had fallen. They only cared about one thing: Ning Fan had used up all of his magic power after delivering the second palm strike. Thus, he was no longer a threat to them. Arrogant brat! How dare you stop us from killing Su Yan? Today, I will let you know the consequences of being a busybody. Kill! Qian Gui took the lead. He laughed out loud as he sped through the air. With every step he took, his body would grow 3,000 meters. After 6 steps, he had become a 6,000-meter tall giant. His body was huge while Ning Fan's body was tiny. He looked at Ning Fan disdainfully. He lifted his foot and stomped on Ning Fan's head with the strength to flatten mountains and rivers. He was certain that Ning Fan had exhausted all of his magic power. He was certain that Ning Fan had lost all of his combat power. At this moment, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with a cold light. He opened his mouth and sucked in a mouthful of air as if he was swallowing the sun and the moon, swallowing the blood rain into his stomach. The blood of the primordial spirits of the 3 Void Glimpse stage experts and the blood rain of the 800 Divine Transformation Realm experts turned into the vast essence qi in his body. In just an instant, Ning Fan's essence qi was fully restored. Apparently, he had used the life-killing technique to replenish his essence qi. Looking at Ning Fan, who was as calm as a deep pond, Qian Gui's heart became more and more uneasy. His foot was like a gigantic mountain and he was above Ning Fan's head. However, when the foot was 3 zhang above Ning Fan's head, it could not step down no matter how hard it tried. Ning Fan's terrifying essence qi formed an invisible barrier which prevented Qian Gui from breaking through it to launch his attacks. At this moment, Ning Fan suddenly raised his head and met Qian Gui's eyes. At this moment, a sense of impending death emerged in Qian Gui's heart. He could clearly feel the abundant magical power within Ning Fan's body. No, that's impossible. You've clearly used up all your magic power. Why? Ah! Before Gong Gui could finish, he felt a sharp pain in his leg. Ning Fan grabbed the leg that was about to step on Qian Gui and forcefully tore it from his body. Countless drops of black blood splattered across the sky from where Qian Gui's leg was cut off. Who does he think he is? How dare he step on Ning Fan's head? Ning Fan exerted a palm force and the giant's broken leg exploded into blood mist. He did not give the single-legged giant any time to escape. His essence chi activated the black flames, turning them into 108 layers of flame rings that engulfed the single-legged giant along with the other 10 Void Refinement Realm experts. High-grade Mortal Void Realm, Flame Ring Technique. In the past, he didn't have enough cultivation base to fully activate the power of the Heavenly Cold Earth Fire. Now that his cultivation base had improved tremendously, the Heavenly Cold Earth Fire had become a supreme killing weapon in his hands. The 108 layers of flame rain fell from the sky, taking away the lives of countless Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm experts who were unconscious on the ground. Through the continuous slaughter, Ning Fan's essence chi was continuously replenished. Qian Gui, who was at the center of the 108 layers of flame rings, was filled with shock. Before he could beg for mercy, he had already turned into ashes. Even until his death, he could not understand why Ning Fan would actually replenish all his magic power after killing and devouring the blood of his enemies who had obviously used up all his magic power. Even until his death, he still could not understand that it was not magic power at all but essence chi. He had no idea that he was challenging a mid-reckless Devil Realm expert who could defeat the young Great Emperor. Qian Gui's life had replenished Ning Fan's essence chi. The 10 Void Refinement Realm experts were stunned by the sudden change in the situation. All of them were certain that Qian Gui could kill Ning Fan. However, the situation was reversed in an instant and Qian Gui was the one who was instantly killed. The 10 of them were trapped at the periphery of the Sea of Flames. Their screams began to resound. In an instant, 3 Void Glimpse stage experts and 4 Void Inquiry stage experts died in the Sea of Flames. Their lives had replenished Ning Fan's essence chi. 2 Void Inquiry stage experts and 1 Void Glimpse stage expert were lucky enough to escape from the Sea of Flames. Each of them was covered in dirt and grime. They were severely injured and panic-stricken like stray dogs. Almost as soon as they escaped from the Sea of Flames, they fled for their lives with all their might. The rain of fire was still falling. The end of the world was still descending. The 100,000 mountains were engulfed by the Sea of Flames. All the unconscious devil spirits on the ground were burned to death. Even the devil mist pond was evaporated. The broken mist horn broken world showed signs of collapsing again. Ning Fan indifferently glanced at the 3 remaining Void Refinement Realm experts and said to Su Yan. You kill the Void Glimpse stage experts and I will kill the Void Inquiry stage experts. Remember to search their souls and memories after killing them and find the exit to leave the broken world. Understood. Su Yan replied softly. Then, she used her teleportation technique and chased after that Void Glimpse stage devil spirit. Ning Fan's shocking means shocked her. She obediently obeyed all of his orders. Ning Fan summoned his 8 black burning wings and chased after one of the Void Inquiry stage experts with a speed that was comparable to a Void Pierce stage expert. In just an instant, he appeared in front of that Void Inquiry stage devil spirit, blocking his way. Don't kill me. I'm willing to be your slave and serve you faithfully for the rest of my life. That Void Inquiry stage devil spirit begged for mercy. I don't need it. Ning Fan took a step forward and turned into his incarnation in black robes. Then, his entire body turned into a ray of black sword light and slashed at an unbelievable speed, cutting that Void Inquiry stage expert in half from his waist. The sword light dispersed and Ning Fan appeared in black robes. He moved at lightning speed and caught a Void Inquiry stage primordial spirit in his hand. It was the primordial spirit of that Void Inquiry stage devil spirit. Don't kill me. Please don't. Noisy. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with impatience. He directly searched the primordial spirit's soul and memories, ignoring the miserable cries of the primordial spirit. After a long time, the primordial spirit gradually quietened down and turned into an idiot with empty eyes. Ning Fan's eyes frowned. There was actually no record of the exit to the broken world in the memories of this void inquiry stage old monster. According to what this old monster knew, the only person who knew about the exit was probably Qian Gui. However, Qian Gui had long been killed by Ning Fan and his primordial spirit no longer existed. Let's check the other person's memories and see if he also doesn't know about the exit of the broken world. Ning Fan swallowed the primordial spirit of the void inquiry stage devil spirit and chewed it. He did not feed it to his spiritual puppets. Instead, he consumed it himself. By using the ancient devil ancestral talisman to refine the primordial spirit of a void refinement realm old monster, a void refinement realm old monster could increase his essence chi by around 10,000 units. Killing these void refinement realm devil spirits had increased his essence chi by at least 100,000 units. CHI.INA flash, Ning Fan chased after a void inquiry stage devil spirit. Sensing that Ning Fan was chasing after him, that void inquiry stage devil spirit was nearly scared to death. He cursed while fleeing. I am General Shimo's subordinate. If you dare to kill me, he will never let you go. Shimo. I really want to see how he is going to chase after me. Destroy. Boom! Ning Fan sent out a samadhi fire palm. The palm imprint condensed from black flames incinerated the physical body of the void inquiry stage devil spirit. However, his primordial spirit was not incinerated. The primordial spirit of the void inquiry stage was horrified. He desperately tried to escape from the sea of black flames. He already had an instinctive fear towards the black flames. He would never forget the scene of killing 7 void refinement realm devil spirits with just a single black flame. No. He no longer had eternal life. He no longer had a chance to live. Soul search. Ning Fan did not even give him a chance to curse and directly searched his soul and memories. After letting out a series of miserable shrieks, the void inquiry stage devil spirit also turned into an idiot and was swallowed by Ning Fan. Ning Fan frowned again. This void inquiry stage devil spirit also did not know about the exit of the broken world. It seemed like the only person who knew about the exit of the broken world was Qian Gui. Coincidentally, Qian Gui had already been killed by Ning Fan. He can't find the exit, huh? Ning Fan gently shook his head. He flapped his 8 wings and went to meet up with Su Yan. Su Yan was a void inquiry stage cultivator. It was a piece of cake for her to kill a severely injured void glimpse stage expert. She had already completed the task that Ning Fan gave her, which was to search the soul and memories of that void glimpse stage devil. However, what disappointed her was that he did not know about the exit of the broken world. After the two of them met up, they exchanged what they had found. However, none of them had any information about the exit of the broken world. Master, what should we do now? Can we still get out? Su Yan's tone was calm. She had thought about it. Actually, it was not a bad thing even if they could not get out. She could live with Ning Fan in the mist-horn broken world forever. Perhaps one day when she was strong enough, she could break the broken world and travel through the void to leave this place. Even if they could not leave, it was also a good thing. As long as she is with Ning Fan, it doesn't matter even if they are trapped in this world. Of course we can. However, since we don't know the exit, we will have to use some methods if we want to get out. Destroy this broken world. What? Su Yan thought that she misheard him. Ning Fan actually wanted to destroy a small kiliacosm. Even if this small kiliacosm was a broken world, it was not something that a void inquiry stage cultivator could destroy. Ancient Devil Dao, transforming bones into soldiers. Ning Fan bit off his little finger and summoned 6 million gold core realm devil soldiers. His little finger healed instantly, but Su Yan's face turned pale. This is the lost divine ability of the ancient fiend gods and devils. Transforming bones into soldiers. The bone-crushing divine soldiers could be used to create a clan by extracting a piece of bone from a fiend god. This was a great divine ability. Ning Fan had 6 million devil soldiers. Under his command, all of them rose into the sky and continued to attack a certain spot in the sky. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 10 days later, the sky that was being attacked by the 6 million devil soldiers gradually showed signs of instability. At this moment, Ning Fan's eyes flashed. He dispersed the 6 million devil soldiers and held Su Yan in his arms. Then, they soared into the sky and directly crashed into the unstable space. Break. Ning Fan was at the mid-reckless devil realm. The strength of his physical body was far stronger than ordinary second-level golden body refinement realm cultivators. The force of the collision directly caused the entire world to shake. That weak spot of the world was even blasted open, creating a gap. Look, we are out. Ning Fan's tone was filled with a teasing tone. Su Yan, on the other hand, was so shocked that she could not close her red lips. The two of them appeared in Tai Chi City. All of a sudden, their void inquiry stage aura force swept across the area, startling countless cultivators in the city. Shimo, come here and accept your death. Ning Fan's tone was calm, but his words enraged countless members of the Misthorn clan. The broken world of the Misthorn clan had collapsed and the fate of their clan leader was unknown. Shimo was already the new clan leader of the Misthorn clan. Now, someone dared to publicly insult their clan leader in the Misthorn clan. Even if they have void inquiry stage aura force, the Misthorn clan would not forgive them. How audacious! How dare you cause trouble in my Misthorn clan? You're courting death. Countless members of the Misthorn clan rose into the sky. However, when they saw that the intruders were Ning Fan and Su Yan, all of them were stunned and did not know what to do. What happened? The former clan leader, Su Yan, is not dead. What happened? The one who challenged the dignity of the Misthorn clan was actually revered Ming of the Rain Palace. In Tai Chi City, clan leader Shimo, who was chatting happily with the two void refinement realm experts of the Misthorn clan, suddenly wore a grim expression. How is this possible? Why are they still alive? Didn't Qian Gui say that Su Yan had already died in the broken world? Shimo tried to activate the contracts in his body to contact Qian Gui and the others. However, he realized that all the contracts had failed. What exactly happened? Why can't I contact Qian Gui and the others? Could it be that they are all dead? What kind of joke is this? In Tai Chi City, a bored little girl who was gnawing on a fifth revolution pill suddenly raised her bright eyes and revealed a joyful expression. Brother Biscuit is back. However, his chi has become so strong. It even gives me a very familiar feeling. A trace of vast demonic power flashed across the little girl's left eye. That trace of demonic chi was different from all the current demonic power. It was the demonic power of an ancient demon. It complemented Ning Fan's ancient devil chi. Chapter 485. In Tai Chi City, a storm was brewing. Ning Fan's spirit sense scanned across countless devil cultivators of the Misthorn clan coldly. Only when he reached a certain building in the Devil City did his expression become slightly calmer. Ming Kei obediently followed Ning Fan's instructions and stayed in the house without leaving. She did not encounter any danger or trouble. If that was the case, Ning Fan would have no qualms about settling the old scores with the Misthorn clan. I don't like to talk nonsense. Shimo, get over here and die. Ning Fan's voice resounded across Tai Chi City once again. This time, countless members of the Misthorn clan were filled with rage when they saw Ning Fan provoking clan leader Shimo for the second time. Ning Fan actually had the guts to ask the dignified patriarch of the Misthorn clan to come out and accept his death. Even though Ning Fan had a great reputation and his background in pill refinement was the best in the Rain world, Shimo was the leader of the Misthorn clan. He was a person with a high status in the entire Rain world. How could Ning Fan possibly insult him? All of a sudden, many devil cultivators of the Misthorn clan glared at Ning Fan with unkind eyes and shouted angrily. Revered Ming, if you respect me, I will respect you tenfold. Shimo is the patriarch of our Misthorn clan. He has a revered status and is well known throughout the Rain world. He is not someone you can insult. It's true that your alchemy skills are unrivaled, but our Misthorn clan is one of the most powerful forces in the entire Rain world. If you were to offend the Misthorn clan, the consequences won't be something you can bear. Zhou Ming, you are just a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator after all. You are not a true Void Refinement Realm old monster yet. You haven't even attained the Void Glimpse stage yet. How dare you insult clan leader Shi Mo, who is at the Void Inquiry stage? You simply don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you think that a mere half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator like you is qualified to challenge my clan leader? Each of the Misthorn Devil cultivators automatically ignored Ning Fan's terrifying aura force. However, no one believed that he could break through to the Void Inquiry stage in just a few months. Everyone knew that Ning Fan was a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator who had the strength and courage to kill Shi Kuan and Mo Xiu consecutively. However, that was all. Mo Xiu was a Void Inquiry stage old monster and he died in Ning Fan's hands. However, when he died, he was severely injured and his cultivation base had dropped. This did not mean that Ning Fan had the strength to kill a Void Inquiry stage expert. It could only be said that he was extremely courageous as he dared to kill the 9 palace lords of the Rain Palace. As for Shi Kuan, it was Ning Fan who killed him. Besides, Shi Kuan's cultivation base was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts. However, this battle could only prove that Ning Fan had unrivaled combat power among Void Glimpse stage experts. It did not mean that he was a match for Void Inquiry stage old monsters. In the eyes of the world, Ning Fan might have the combat power to fight against a Void Inquiry stage expert. However, he would definitely lose more than win in a battle against them. At the end of the day, he was just a half-step Void Refinement Realm expert. What made people fear him was his courage, Pill Refinement Realm and background. They still could not truly associate Ning Fan with a Void Inquiry stage old monster. Shi Mo, on the other hand, was already a true Void Inquiry stage expert. Ning Fan, who was just a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator, had provoked Shi Mo and threatened to ask him to come here and face his death. In the eyes of countless cultivators of the Misthorn clan, this action was undoubtedly stupid. Everyone thought that this was an arrogant and egotistical act, an act of seeking one's own death. However, the devil cultivators of the Misthorn clan could not understand why Su Yan did not die in the collapse of the Misthorn broken world like the rumors said. Instead, she suddenly appeared beside Ning Fan. Even if Su Yan did not die, as the former clan leader of the Misthorn clan, her standpoint was different from Ning Fan's. Now that Ning Fan was provoking clan leader Shi Mo, why didn't Su Yan stop him and protect the dignity of the Misthorn clan? Could it be that Su Yan was dissatisfied after hearing that Shi Mo had succeeded the position of clan leader and asked Ning Fan to come here to make things difficult for him? If that was the case, Su Yan's action was a little bad. Asking an outsider to deal with one of her own clan members for the sake of power and benefits was an extremely shameful act. Former clan leader, please take action and expel Zhou Ming to show the might of our Misthorn clan. A few Divine Transformation Realm old monsters of the Misthorn clan cupped their fists at Su Yan from a distance and made a request to Ning Fan. However, they did not show much respect to Su Yan. Instead, there was some dissatisfaction and blame in their eyes. Their dissatisfaction was because they suspected that Su Yan had colluded with outsiders to harm the Misthorn clan. The words former clan leader were particularly harsh. They were reminding Su Yan that no matter what the reason for her disappearance was, it happened suddenly and Shi Mo had already succeeded the position of clan leader. They hoped that Su Yan would consider the big picture and not collude with outsiders to harm the clan for the sake of power and benefits. Former clan leader. What a great title. Su Yan has always treated all of you with respect and never neglected you. Today, all of you are using words to insult Su Yan. What is the reason for this? Su Yan dared not accept the title of former clan leader. May I ask all of you elders, according to the rules of the Misthorn clan, if I, Su Yan, am still alive after going missing, who should be the clan leader of the Misthorn clan, Shimo, or me? All of you addressed Su Yan as former clan leader, right from the start. It seems that all of you are certain that Shimo is the current clan leader. All of you are so protective of Shimo, but you have abandoned me. Could it be that Shimo has given all of you some benefits? Or have I, Su Yan, offended all of you? Su Yan smiled self-deprecatingly. She had only left for 3.5 months and the Misthorn clan had already changed hands. This was really fast. Her life plate was not kept in the clan. Naturally, no one knew whether she was dead or not. At most, they could only spread rumors that she had gone missing. According to the rules of the Misthorn clan, if the clan leader was confirmed to be dead, the respected elders of the clan could elect the next clan leader. However, if the clan leader was not confirmed to be dead but just missing, the next clan leader could only be elected after she had been missing for at least 10 years. No one could confirm her death. She had only been missing for 3.5 months. According to the rules of the clan, they were not allowed to elect a new clan leader. However, Shimo had violated the rules of the clan and became the clan leader. He even received the unanimous support of all the elders. Su Yan could not help but guess that Shimo had already secretly contacted all the elders and changed the rules of the clan. That was why he was able to elect Shimo as the clan leader when she was only missing for 3 months. In other words, all the elders of the Misthorn clan had most likely been bribed by Shimo and were loyal to him. These people might not have participated in the plan to kill Su Yan directly, but they were not kind people either. Su Yan naturally did not intend to be polite to them. Her words were backed by the rules of the clan. All the elders of the Misthorn clan were speechless. Just as Su Yan had guessed, these elders had indeed received a lot of benefits from Shimo. Besides, Shimo had also presented the evidence of the collapse of the Misthorn broken world. The Misthorn broken world had collapsed and Su Yan's fate was unknown. Even if she was still alive, no one knew when she would be able to escape from the broken world. A country could not be without a leader. The Misthorn clan must have someone to govern it, and the only candidates were the 3 Void Refinement Realm experts in the clan. Gue Jiao was just a Void Glimpse stage expert and was bribed by Shimo naturally. He would not compete with Shimo. Both the former clan leader and Shimo were Void Inquiry stage experts. However, the former clan leader had made a grave mistake and was no longer qualified to be the clan leader. Besides, he was also bribed by Shimo and would not compete with Shimo for the position at all. Under such circumstances, Shimo openly became the clan leader of the Misthorn clan, fulfilling his wish of many years. It could be said that making Shimo the clan leader was not in accordance with the rules of the clan. There were also rumors about Su Yan's disappearance in the clan. They speculated that her disappearance and the collapse of the broken world were all planned by Shimo. However, Shimo dealt with some of the people who spread the rumors and bribed a small number of people. Very soon, the rumors stopped spreading. The elders of the Misthorn clan ignored the rules of the clan after receiving benefits. They did not investigate the reason behind the collapse of the broken world and directly accepted Shimo as their leader. It was obvious that they wanted to renounce the darkness and join the light. When these thoughts were exposed by Su Yan, some of them felt ashamed while some of them flew into a rage out of humiliation. However, none of them were willing to come out and apologize to Su Yan. None of them addressed Su Yan as the clan leader anymore. Everyone in the clan had been subdued by Shimo's threats and promises. The Misthorn clan no longer belonged to Su Yan. As you can see, I, Shimo, am the true clan leader of the Misthorn clan, Su Yan. I order you to kill Zhou Ming on the spot. If you dare to disobey my order, you will be charged with the crime of betraying the clan. I will mobilize the entire strength of the Misthorn clan and mobilize all the devil spirits in the broken world to kill you, Su Yan. When all the elders were in the wrong, Shimo appeared together with a few Void Refinement Realm experts. Other than Gue Jiao and the former clan leader of the Misthorn clan, there were also a few unfamiliar faces among these Void Refinement Realm experts. Each of them seemed to be the helpers that Shimo had found. His cold eyes swept past Su Yan with disdain. In his opinion, as long as he threatened her with 15 Void Refinement Realm Devil Spirits of the Broken World, Su Yan would definitely be afraid. Devil Spirits of the Broken World? Are you talking about them? Ning Fan's voice suddenly sounded. Everyone's eyes focused on him. In his hand, there were 15 traces of death chi of primordial spirit. Each of them was left behind by a Void Refinement Realm old monster after their death. All of a sudden, countless cultivators of the Misthorn clan were astonished. Especially Shimo. At this moment, he recognized the source of those traces of chi. Chapter 486. Many years later, when some old monsters of the Internal Sea recall the number 1 Devil Lord of the Internal Sea, they could not help but think of a white-robed young man. That white-robed young man instantly killed 3 bandit kings with a single blow. A trace of his aura force knocked out millions of Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm cultivators. Ordinary people could not even stay conscious around him. In Tai Chi City of the Misthorn clan, Ning Fan fully unleashed his devil might and knocked out countless experts. Just like what he promised Su Yan, he did not kill any low-level members of the clan. However, he did not hide his killing intent towards Shimo at all. In Tai Chi City, there were still 3 Void Refinement Realm experts of the Misthorn clan including Shimo, Gue Jiao, and Yin Gong. There were also 22 Divine Transformation Realm experts of the Misthorn clan including 6 elders. There were also 9 Divine Transformation Realm experts from the Internal Sea who were observing the battle and a group of Divine Transformation Realm servants brought by Little Ming Quebec. Each and every one of these remaining experts looked at Ning Fan with astonished expressions. Those Divine Transformation Realm experts, in particular, were extremely terrified. Zhou Ming, Su Yan is a member of our Misthorn clan. Today is a private matter of our clan. Do you really want to interfere? Shimo's expression turned grim. His words were directly ignored by Ning Fan. Zhou Ming. If you leave now, I can let bygones be bygones. If you continue to show killing intent towards me, my Misthorn clan will not rest until you are dead. Shimo continued to threaten him but Ning Fan still ignored him. Zhou Ming. Let me tell you. I have signed a contract with millions of devil spirits. If you provoke me again. Noisy. Ning Fan's patience had run out. His body turned into a trace of smoke in the void and approached Shimo with terrifying devil might. As soon as they saw Ning Fan taking action, the 9 unrelated Divine Transformation Realm experts hurriedly left Tai Chi City. Little Ming K was also gnawing on a pill while stepping on a white cloud with a large group of servants. She left Tai Chi City and approached Su Yan. The 22 Divine Transformation Realm experts of the Misthorn clan formed a formation and blocked Ning Fan's path. They attacked one after another, swearing to protect Shimo with their lives. Ning Fan did not have the slightest intention to show them any mercy. Since these Divine Transformation Realm cultivators dared to attack him, they should be prepared to die. Myriad Sword Style, Shadow. Ning Fan's essence chi poured into the Separation Slayer and danced in the air. The originally light body of the sword suddenly produced countless sword shadows. He could slash 50 million shadows of swords with one slash, but he did not have to use his full strength to deal with 22 Divinity Transformation Stage cultivators. He merely slashed out 10 million shadows of swords with one slash, which was 1/5 of his strength. Even so, the sword was divided into thousands of sword shadows. With one sweep of the sword aura, all 22 semi-god realm cultivators were drowned in the sword aura. Nothing was left of them. Su Yan sadly closed her eyes, unable to bear to watch any longer. Her former clansmen had died under Ning Fan's sword. In the end, she still could not completely calm her heart. However, ever since she was deposed by these clansmen, she no longer had anything to do with the Misthorn tribe. The life and death of these Divine Transformation Realm cultivators had nothing to do with her anymore. When she opened her eyes, she thought that all 22 of them had died. To her surprise, she discovered that none of the 22 soul formation cultivators had died. Although the sword light destroyed their physical bodies, it deliberately left their primordial spirits untouched. Their primordial spirits were strung together by the threads of magic power that Ning Fan condensed. Seeing that the 22 Divine Transformation Realm cultivators could not even stop Ning Fan's footsteps, each of the Divine Transformation Realm cultivators who were watching from the side were filled with fear. Seeing that Ning Fan captured 22 of them but did not kill them. Instead, he strung their primordial spirits with a thread and humiliated them to the extreme. The expressions of Shi Mo and the other 2 Void Refinement Realm experts became even uglier. Zhou Ming. Kill me if you have the guts. I swear that I will defend Lord Shiemo even if I have to die. One of the Divine Transformation Realm elders shouted angrily. I don't believe a single word that Su Yan said to slander Lord Shiemo. Zhou Ming. Unless you can show us the evidence to prove that Lord Shiemo has plotted against Su Yan, what reason do you have to attack him? Another old man said hatefully. Kill me. I'm going to perish together with you. The curses of the Divine Transformation Realm old monsters could not make Ning Fan show even the slightest bit of emotion. Killing all of you is too easy. I want to plant slave marks on all of you. From today onwards, your descendants will be my devil slaves forever. Break. Ning Fan only said one sentence, but it immediately made all the Divine Transformation Realm elders' faces filled with fear. Slave marks were the restrictive ability of the ancient devils. It was a type of lost ability which was widely used by the devil race in ancient times. For example, Great Emperor Mo Luo used slave marks to control the 4 great slave clans, causing them to be unable to get rid of the fate of being slaves for generations to come. The method of planting slave marks had long been lost. The 4 great slave clans were still looking for ways to break the slave marks. They did not think that Ning Fan knew how to use slave marks at all. They only thought that Ning Fan was just trying to scare them. Ning Fan was too lazy to explain. He released a trace of ancestral talisman power from his palm and directly went into the 22 primordial spirits. In an instant, the Mo Luo slave marks in their bodies were wiped out one by one. At this moment, the worldview of the 22 primordial spirits crumbled. The slave marks that they had been suffering for their entire lives were actually wiped out by Ning Fan. The method to break the slave marks recorded on the slate was to use the power of ancestral talismans to erase the Mo Luo slave marks. Other than Ning Fan, no one else knew about it. The small faces of the 22 primordial spirits were filled with fear. They did not have the slightest hint of joy from breaking the slave marks. They had been struggling for their entire lives. Many of them were eager to break the Mo Luo slave marks. As long as the slave marks were not broken, all of their descendants would carry the devil marks on their bodies forever. They would forever be Mo Luo's slaves. They had used all of their methods, but they still could not erase the Mo Luo slave marks. However, they did not expect that Ning Fan could easily erase the slave marks as easily as turning his palm. This should have been a joyous occasion if Ning Fan did not plant another slave mark on them. After erasing the slave marks, Ning Fan activated the power of the ancestral talisman and used his essence chi to carve the devil marks on the bodies of the 22 primordial spirits. The slave marks were a type of restriction that was different from the demon restrictions of the demon race. It was more effective in controlling the devil race. Moreover, it could be passed down from generation to generation and would never be erased. Ah! Stop! No! The 22 small primordial spirits shrieked in pain. They struggled helplessly as Ning Fan planted the slave marks on them one by one. From this moment onwards, they no longer had the slightest intention to resist Ning Fan. Once they resist, the slave marks would activate. The slave marks were the same as Mo Luo's slave marks. They would be passed down for eternity, enslaving the person who was planted with the slave marks and all of their descendants. From now on, these 22 primordial spirits could only be Ning Fan's slaves. If they betray him, they would die. No. I don't want to be loyal to you. I want to be loyal to Lord Shiemo. Ah! One of the primordial spirits tried to resist the slave marks. However, the slave marks immediately activated. It was tortured by the irresistible pain and let out a piercing scream. After a few breaths, that primordial spirit was exhausted from screaming. He was already extremely weak. His eyes were filled with pain and fear. He wanted to commit suicide. However, he realized that as soon as he had such a thought, he would lose control of his body and he would not be able to commit suicide. Moreover, he would feel an even more intense pain which was worse than death. When the slave marks activate, the person who was planted with the slave marks would be in utter misery. He who was originally unyielding gradually surrendered. He knelt in the void and kept kowtowing to Ning Fan. "Master, please spare my life. Please spare my life. This subordinate is willing to follow Master and kill Shimo. Master, please stop the slave marks from activating." The faces of the other 21 primordial spirits turned pale. They were not afraid of death, but they were afraid of the slave marks. This was because once the slave marks are planted on them, their life and death would no longer be in their control. Moreover, their descendants would also not be able to escape the fate of becoming slaves. So this is the slave mark that the 4 great slave clans hate, huh? It's actually quite useful. Ning Fan continued to activate the power of the ancestral talisman. He divided a trace of the ancestral talisman's power into millions of portions and sprinkled them on Tai Chi City like a dark golden rain of light, entering all the unconscious devil cultivators of the Misthorn tribe. When Su Yen saw this scene, she just let out a soft sigh and did not say anything. However, in the eyes of Shimo and the other 2, it turned into uncontrollable shock and a trace of instinctive fear towards the slave marks. They did not understand why Ning Fan knew the method to plant slave marks. However, they understood that at the moment Ning Fan planted the slave marks on all the devil cultivators of the Misthorn tribe, no one in the Misthorn tribe was their subordinate or helper anymore. "How dare you plant slave marks on the 22 divine transformation realm experts of my tribe? How dare you plant slave marks on millions of members of my tribe? Zhou Ming, how dare you? How dare you enslave my tribe? You deserve to die. How dare I? Not only do I want to enslave the Misthorn tribe, but I also want to imprison the Misthorn tribe in the tranquil ocean forever. Devour." Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. The function of the ancestral talisman was not only to refine one's blood and plant slave marks. It could also deprive a slave of their cultivation base. The slave marks in the bodies of every member of the Misthorn tribe contained a trace of Ning Fan's ancestral talisman power. At the moment Ning Fan activated the power of the ancestral talisman, the cultivation base of all the enslaved members of the Misthorn tribe was rapidly devoured by the talisman power and transferred to Ning Fan's body. The devil cultivators who were originally at the Gold Core realm fell to the Harmonious Spirit realm. The Nascent Soul realm devil cultivators fell to the Gold Core realm. As for the 22 Divine Transformation Realm devil cultivators, they were terrified to find out that their cultivation bases had been devoured and plunged to the Nascent Soul realm. The cultivation base of millions of cultivators was used to increase Ning Fan's essence chi, but the increase was less than 10,000 units. Each of the unconscious cultivators was awakened by the pain of their cultivation base being taken away. To their despair, they found out that all of them had been planted with slave marks and their cultivation base had been taken away. To a member of the devil race who loved battles and strived to become stronger, having their cultivation base taken away and becoming a slave was more painful than death. Ning Fan could not annihilate the Misthorn tribe, but he must teach this devil race who betrayed Su Yen a lesson. That lesson was to make the Misthorn tribe become one of Ning Fan's great slaves for generations to come. With my order, all devils who have been planted with slave marks will have their cultivation base taken away and be imprisoned here. None of you are allowed to leave Tai Chi City without permission. Otherwise, the slave marks will activate and you will suffer a fate worse than death. As soon as Ning Fan gave his order, his devil chi surged. Millions of members of the Misthorn tribe felt that the slave marks in their bodies had been planted with Ning Fan's order. After Ning Fan gave his order, almost no one dared to leave Tai Chi City without permission. They would be imprisoned by the slave marks in Tai Chi City for eternity. At this moment, countless members of the Mist Horn tribe who were hostile to Ning Fan knelt down one after another. They had no choice but to obey. Each of the divine transformation realm cultivators was dumbfounded. It was their first time seeing such a domineering restriction that could control millions of people as slaves at the same time and take away their cultivation base. Such a method was just too terrifying. Next, it's your turn. Ning Fan's body emitted the power of the ancestral talisman. The bloodline power of the ancestral devil made Shimo, Gui Jiao, and Yin Gong feel oppressed and terrified. Shimo gritted his teeth. He clearly realized that the current Ning Fan was a little difficult to deal with. You guys stand guard at the side. I will meet him in the future. Shimo no longer called himself the clan leader of the Misthorn tribe. All the devils of his tribe had been enslaved by Ning Fan. He was already alone and his power had been lost. Even though Ning Fan had instantly killed 3 bandit kings and was proficient in the ability of the slave marks, Shimo still did not think that he would lose to Ning Fan. He still remembered the exchange of blows between him and Ning Fan 3 months ago. At that time, Ning Fan was barely able to withstand his attack. Just like that day, Shimo pointed out a finger and devil chi surged around his body. When he pressed his finger down, the devil chi turned into a 10,000 zhang tall mountain and pressed down on Ning Fan's head. The suppressive force of this 10,000 zhang tall mountain was a true void inquiry stage attack. Its destructive power should not be underestimated. Even the 3 bandit kings would not be able to withstand this attack unscathed. Facing the same attack, Ning Fan's eyes were filled with disdain. Before he attained the reckless devil realm, he could already withstand Shimo's finger attack. Now, Ning Fan was already at the mid-reckless devil realm. His physical body had surpassed ordinary body cultivators at the 2nd level of the golden body realm. Even so, he still casually used a punch to block the devil mountain. However, the destructive power of this punch was no longer the same as before. Boom streams of collapsing vortexes spread out from Ning Fan's fist light, easily shattering the devil mountain. Moreover, the remaining force of the attack did not diminish at all. Just a casual punch from Ning Fan had the power to severely injure Shimo. Shimo's eyes widened in shock. He did not expect that Ning Fan would become so strong in just 3 months. The powerful fist light made him feel suffocated. Without hesitation, he directly patted his storage pouch and took out 3 ancient jade slips. Then, he crushed them. Immediately, the 3 jade slips shattered one after another. Each of them had a void inquiry stage attack which collided with Ning Fan's fist light. Under the obstruction of the 3 void inquiry stage attacks, Shimo managed to escape from the range of Ning Fan's fist light. 3 months ago, he could at least maintain a draw with Ning Fan. But 3 months later, he could not even withstand a casual punch from Ning Fan. His eyes were filled with dispiritedness and unwillingness. Shimo ordered the 2 experts behind him. Gui Jiao, Yin Gong, the 2 of you go and delay him for a while. I will lift the seal on the void inquiry stage attack and help you from the side. Understood. Gui Jiao and Yin Gong knew that if they do not eliminate Ning Fan today, they would either die or be subdued by Ning Fan and become his slaves. Their cultivation base would be taken away and their lives would be worse than death. Even though they knew that Ning Fan was very strong, they had no choice but to fight him head-on. There was no way out. The 3 of them flew out at the same time, surrounding Ning Fan from 3 sides without leaving a single gap. Gui Jiao and Yin Gong used their own methods. They used their magic techniques and magic treasures to besiege Ning Fan. At the same time, they carefully kept a distance from Ning Fan as they were afraid that Ning Fan would launch a sudden attack and kill them instantly. They had to admit that Ning Fan's instant killing of the 3 bandit kings had already left a shadow in their hearts. After defeating Shimo in an instant, this shadow expanded infinitely. The 2 of them were extremely afraid of Ning Fan. None of them dared to fight him in close combat. As for Shimo, he patted his storage pouch and took out countless jade slips. He chose one of the ancient jade slips which had a vast and vicissitude ancient devil chi sealed within it. This is the protective jade slip left behind by the 9th generation ancestor of my Misthorn clan. By breaking this jade slip, you can activate the attack of our ancestor. I don't believe that you can withstand a Void Inquiry stage attack just because you are comparable to a Void Inquiry stage expert. The aura force of a peak Void Pierce stage attack was revealed from that jade slip, shocking all the Divine Transformation Realm cultivators who were watching the scene. Ning Fan's eyes turned slightly solemn. Shimo's strength was not that great, but he was well prepared. In order to become the clan leader, he had obtained quite a number of good items to protect himself. With Ning Fan's eyesight, he could tell at a glance that each of the jade slips that Shimo was holding was the power of an attack left behind by the ancestors of the Misthorn clan. After countless years, most of the power of those attacks had already lost most of its power. Even so, many of the magic techniques sealed in the jade slips were not to be underestimated. For example, the 9th generation ancestor jade slip that Shimo was unsealing was the protective item left behind by the 9th generation old ancestor of the Misthorn clan. Rumor has it that the 9th generation old ancestor of the Misthorn clan was a true immortal realm ancient devil who was proficient in wind and wood element abilities. The protective attack that he left behind was originally a true immortal realm attack. However, as time passed, that true immortal realm attack only had Void Pierce stage power left behind. Even so, this magic technique attack was definitely not to be underestimated. What Ning Fan was more concerned about was that Shimo still had a lot of such jade slips. Shimo even had a few absolute void stage attacks and a void fragmentation realm attack. This Void Pierce stage jade slip gave Gue Jiao and Yin Gong some confidence, and they began to attack Ning Fan with all their might. The reason why the two of them were willing to submit to Shimo was because they knew that he had many powerful offensive jade slips. Shimo obtained these jade slips by chance from a secret place in the clan. With these jade slips, Shimo did not think that he would lose to Ning Fan at all. Even though he did not understand how Ning Fan and Su Yen managed to escape from the pursuit of millions of devil spirits and get out of the Misthorn broken world, he did not understand why the contract between the millions of devil spirits and the 15 void refinement realm in the broken world could not be contacted. However, Shimo believed that as long as he activates this Void Pierce stage jade slip, it would be more than enough to kill Ning Fan. As long as he is given 3 breaths to activate the jade slip, Ning Fan would certainly die. In Shimo's eyes, it was still possible for Gue Jiao and Yin Gong to delay Ning Fan for 3 breaths by joining forces. Shimo closed his eyes and used all his strength to unseal the jade slips. His ears were filled with the rumbling sounds of Gue Jiao and Yin Gong's magic techniques. Facing the attacks from the two of them, Ning Fan's expression remained unchanged. He just raised his hand and clawed. 5 rays of moonlight fell from the sky and turned them into claw marks. His 5 fingers turned into a claw and tore 5 parts of the moonlight. Each part of the moonlight was gentle, but it carried terrifying destructive power. The moonlight that filled the sky gave off a vast aura force. It was the moon-tearing dragon technique. As soon as this technique was used, all of Gue Jiao and Yin Gong's attacks were broken one after another. This was something that Shimo did not expect. All of the magic techniques and abilities of Gue Jiao, who was at the Void Glimpse stage, were destroyed by Ning Fan's claw. Even his physical body was directly killed by the moon claw. Only his primordial spirit was captured by Ning Fan. Slave marks were planted on him, depriving his cultivation base and enslaving his primordial spirit. So what if he was a Void Glimpse stage old monster? In front of the ancestral devil Ning Fan, he was only fit to be a slave. And no. Gue Jiao wailed. A dignified void refinement realm expert like him had actually become Ning Fan's slave. It was really worse than death. As for Yin Gong, who was at the Void Inquiry stage, his magic treasure was destroyed by Ning Fan. He could only withstand half of Ning Fan's claw, while the other half directly destroyed his physical body. Only his primordial spirit managed to escape. It could not withstand the power of Ning Fan's claw at all. This moon-tearing dragon technique was displayed by Ning Fan, who was at the mid-reckless devil realm. Its destructive power was just too terrifying. Xiemo suddenly opened his eyes and saw Yin Gong's primordial spirit dashing towards him while being bathed in blood. Behind Yin Gong, Ning Fan was chasing after him at a leisurely pace. He looked calm and relaxed, as if killing Gui Jiao and severely injuring Yin Gong in a single move was just a normal thing. Xiemo found it hard to believe. Even if Ning Fan is at the void inquiry stage, he should not be this strong. The three bandit kings could not stop Ning Fan for even a moment. Gui Jiao and Yin Gong were also no match for him. The two of them did not manage to buy 3 breaths of time for Xiemo at all. They could not even delay him for half a breath. You are not an ordinary void inquiry stage cultivator. You have the strength of an unrivaled void inquiry stage expert. Just when Xiemo realized this, Ning Fan, who was chasing after Yin Gong, suddenly grabbed his primordial spirit and planted a slave mark on him, depriving him of his cultivation base. Ning Fan increased his speed and instantly traveled across a vast distance. He appeared in front of Xiemo and punched him mercilessly. With just a single punch, Ximeo's devil armor was completely shattered. All of his devil bones were broken. Like a kite with a broken string, he was sent flying by Ning Fan's punch. He coughed out blood incessantly and fell on the ground of Tai Chi City. Then, Ning Fan stepped on the soil as if he was stepping on a dead dog. Ning Fan did not give Xiemo any time to use his jade slip at all. Ximeo's broken body held the jade slip in his hand. He was too unwilling to accept his fate. However, he could not mobilize any of his magic power and was powerless to resist Ning Fan's strength. Don't kill me. I am willing to return the position of the clan leader to Su Yan. Save me, clan leader Su. I know my mistake. Xiemo looked at Ning Fan, who was approaching him step by step, and begged while coughing out blood. Su Yan's almond-shaped eyes were filled with coldness. She did not show any mercy at all. She just could not bear to see the ordinary members of her clan die, but she wanted to kill Xiemo as soon as possible. As for Ning Fan, it was impossible for him to care about Ximeo's pleading. He did not even plan to enslave Xiemo. Bang! With a stomp of his foot, the strength of the mid-reckless devil realm directly crushed Ximeo's physical body into countless pieces of rotten flesh and blood. After capturing Ximeo's primordial spirit, Ning Fan did not say a word and directly ate him alive, killing him in his stomach. Standing in Tai Chi City, Ning Fan's devil chi was monstrous. His eyes were filled with the prestige of an ancestral devil as he scanned the entire city. From now on, the Misthorn Devil clan will be my slave clan. I can decide your life and death with just a single thought. Those who touch the Misthorn Devil clan will die. Many Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm cultivators in the Internal Sea also woke up. After hearing Ning Fan's devil command and looking at the millions of members of the Misthorn clan who were bowing and kowtowing to Ning Fan, all the cultivators of the Internal Sea were stunned. Oh my god! What happened in Tai Chi City when they were unconscious? The dignified Misthorn clan, one of the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean, was actually subdued by Ning Fan. If this matter is spread out, it would certainly shake the entire Endless Sea. No. It would certainly shake the entire Rain World. In the Rain World, other than Void Fragmentation Realm old monsters, who else could suppress the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean? Ning Fan was the second cultivator who succeeded in suppressing the Devil clan of the Hidden Ocean after the Thunder Sovereign. Chapter 487. The Misthorn clan, one of the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean, was suppressed by Ning Fan. This matter shook the entire external Endless Sea overnight. Countless pieces of news spread to every corner of the world like snowflakes. In the Zhou clan, Hong Yi, who was recuperating in seclusion in a certain small kiliocosm, looked at the information in her hands, and a smile appeared in her blood-red eyes. Suppress the Misthorn clan. Moreover, he's different from me. I've only suppressed him, but this kid has completely enslaved the Misthorn tribe. He's not weak at all. If I nurture him carefully, he will become a great help in my counterattack against the Rain Palace. Guards! Hong Yi gave an order. Immediately, 3 Void Refinement Realm experts with vast chi entered the small Kiliacosm. Among the 3 of them, one of them was the 3rd Elder, Zhou Chen. As for the other 2, they looked rather unfamiliar. They should also be the Void Refinement Realm Elders of the Zhou clan. Their chi was much stronger than the 3rd Elders. Lord Thunder Sovereign, what instructions do you have for us? The 3 of them knelt to Hong Yi in unison, and their expressions were extremely respectful. As for what they said, if it spreads out, the entire Rain world would be shaken. Moreover, the shock it would bring would definitely not be comparable to the shock Ning Fan experienced when he suppressed the Misthorn tribe. The red-robed man was actually the Thunder Sovereign. But wasn't the remnant soul of the Thunder Sovereign sealed in the Sovereign's tomb, neither dead nor alive, unable to leave? Why did she turn into a red dress and appear in the inner sea? If the Rain Palace knew that the Thunder Emperor had escaped from the Sovereign's tomb, wouldn't they be greatly shocked? Zhou Wei, Zhou Tong, Zhou Chen, there's a change in my plans. The time of my resurrection will be temporarily postponed. In the plan, the person who will help me return my essence soul will be changed. I will wait for another person to personally bring my soul back to life. What? The resurrection of His Excellency's soul essence is a huge matter, and there can't be the slightest mistake. It's most suitable for us to do it, so why do we have to replace him? There's no need to say more about this. I have my own plans. That kid is more suitable than you guys. After Hong Yi finished speaking, she closed her blood-red eyes and did not say anything else. The 3 elders looked at each other as if they had something to say, but in the end, they did not dare to advise Hong Yi. They sighed and left. Now that the plan had changed, many things had to be rearranged. The 3 of them were going to be busy. Giant Demon Clan, inside the Broken World. The Giant Devil Clan's 8 ancestors stared at the report in their hands in shock. This kid actually has the ability to enslave an entire race. This was simply inconceivable. We have spent our entire lives trying to break the slave mark, but he broke the Misthorn's slave mark in an instant and planted his own slave mark in it. This young man's means are actually so heaven-defying. Should we ask him to help us break the slave marks? A Void Inquiry Stage old ancestor asked in astonishment. The last time we saw him in the Broken World, he was clearly just a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator. How did he break through to the Void Inquiry Stage in just a few short months? Could it be that he has stored a large amount of magic power and suppressed it at the Divine Transformation Realm so that he can break through to the Void Refinement Realm in one go? The other old ancestors sucked in a breath of cold air. The magic power of a Void Inquiry Stage cultivator was at least 3 million units. Ordinary Divine Transformation Realm cultivators would not be able to suppress it at all, humph. So what if he broke through to the Void Inquiry Stage? So what if he suppressed Mo, Yin Gong, Gue Jiao and the others? Even if he has unrivaled strength among Void Inquiry Stage experts, he will not be able to escape from the manipulation of us, the 8 ancestors of the Giant Devil Clan. Among us, there are 2 Void Pierce Stage experts. There was an insurmountable gap between the Void Pierce Stage and the Void Inquiry Stage. Only experts like Yun Tianjue and Prince Lan Ling could fight against a Void Pierce Stage expert when they were still at the Void Inquiry Stage. This young man is nothing to be afraid of. A gloomy Void Inquiry Stage female voice resounded. She said that Ning Fan was worthless. However, there was a deep jealousy in her words. It was obvious that she was jealous of Ning Fan's strength and means. All right. Stop talking. King Ju Lu's hoarse voice resounded. It carried a Void Pierce Stage aura force, causing all the old ancestors to shut their mouths obediently. Even though this young man can break the slave mark, after 8 generations of hard work, we, the 8 ancestors, can also break the slave mark with our own means. We don't need to borrow the help of an outsider. Let's stick to our original plan. 10 years later, we will use the devil blood in Feng Shuiyan's body as a catalyst to break the slave mark of our clan. But old ancestor, since that Zhou Ming can easily break the slave mark, why do we still need to sacrifice Feng Shuiyan? We can just ask Zhou Ming to do it with a generous gift. After all, Feng Shuyan is my granddaughter. I also can't bear to see her die. Old ancestor Zhu Yan raised an objection. Zhu Yan, are you questioning my order? King Zhu Lu's eyes turned grim. Zhu Yan did not dare to speak anymore. I don't dare to. But Feng Shuyan, all right. This matter has been decided. Our plan is flawless. There's no need for us to borrow the help of an outsider. You should know that Zhou Ming is an outsider. Even though he has the method to break the slave mark, he also has the ability to plant the slave mark. If he plants a new slave mark on our clan when he breaks the slave mark, wouldn't we have to pledge our loyalty to him? Old ancestor is right. It's Zhu Yan's fault for not thinking things through. Zhu Yan could not refute and could only remain silent. It's good that you know. Everything will proceed according to plan. We just need to wait for that young man to concoct the sinful ocean pill for us. Hee hee. 10 years. I just need to wait for another 10 years, a hint of gloominess flashed across King Zhu Lu's eyes but no one noticed it. The reason why he had painstakingly gone through 8 generations of suffering was not just to save the slave mark of the giant devil clan. He had his own purpose. For that purpose, he did not mind sacrificing the other 7 ancestors or the entire giant devil clan, let alone Feng Shuyan. As long as the plan goes smoothly, not only can I revert to my ancestral form and cultivate the great Tao of ancient devils, I can even borrow a drop of imitation ancestral blood in Feng Shuyan's body to obtain the devil bloodline that is at least at the true blood realm. No, I might even have the chance to obtain the royal bloodline and become the legendary King Devil. In the past, my foundation was damaged by the heavenly tribulation and I had no chance to break through to the void fragmentation realm. However, if I have the bloodline that is above the true blood realm, the day I break through to the revered devil realm is just around the corner. The revered devil realm is much stronger than the void fragmentation realm. In front of my ancient devil clan, any cultivator is just an ant. They are food. King Zhu Lu stroked an ancient jade box in his hand. His heart was filled with excitement. Inside the jade box was a low-grade 7th revolution pill, revered blood pill. The purpose of this pill was to consolidate the cultivation base of the revered devil realm. The value of a revered blood pill was immeasurable. If I didn't obtain this revered blood pill in the past, I would never have thought that I would have the chance to become a revered devil realm cultivator in this life. Hee hee. In the entire Rain world, no, in the entire 9 worlds, is there anyone whose luck is as good as mine who has the chance to consume a 7th revolution revered blood pill of the ancient devil clan? The revered blood pill in King Zhu Lu's hand was just a defective item but he already regarded it as a supreme treasure. However, he did not know that Ning Fan had obtained 10 of these revered blood pills when he reverted to his ancestral form. After he consumed all of them, his reckless devil realm was stabilized in a short period of time. His inferior luck was not worth mentioning at all compared to Ning Fan's. In the Rain Palace of the Middle State, the Rain Sovereign looked at the information in his hand and his expression changed. According to the information, Ning Fan had broken through to the Void Inquiry stage. However, how was that possible? A few months ago, Ning Fan was just a half-step Void Refinement Realm cultivator. How could he possibly attain the Void Inquiry stage in just a few months? Could it be that this young man has obtained a great opportunity? Or perhaps, this young man is going to marry a peerless genius whose innate potential is not inferior to the Thunder Sovereign and Yuntianjue. The Rain Sovereign's eyes were filled with uncertainty. He did not know if he would allow Ning Fan to continue cultivating like this. Would he give birth to another sovereign-level enemy? According to the information, King Lan Ling had yet to give Ning Fan some pointers. This made the Rain Sovereign dissatisfied. According to his personality, it was impossible for him to allow a devil cultivator who did not belong to the Rain Palace to grow without a limit. However, what gave him a headache was that the stronger Ning Fan was, the higher his chances of entering that place would be. The Rain Sovereign did not want Ning Fan to grow stronger. However, he also hoped that Ning Fan would become stronger and stronger until he could pass through the sea of immortal flames and retrieve that item. He was really conflicted and had a huge headache. Besides, now that Ning Fan had broken through to the Void Inquiry stage, as the Rain Sovereign, should he fulfill his promise in the past and make Ning Fan the Palace Lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace? The Rain Palace had many branches. Each of them was guarded by a Void Refinement Realm Palace Lord. However, among these many branches, there were only 9 which were the strongest. They were known as the 9 Heaven Divine Palaces. They were named after the 9 heavens and each of them had a Void Fragmentation Realm expert. The 9th Palace Lord had a respectable status. If it wasn't because Ning Fan was of great value to the Rain Sovereign, how would the Rain Sovereign let him go after he killed the dignified Palace Lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace, Missouri Show? Perhaps, making him the Palace Lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace is also a good thing. When he comes to the middle state in the future, Jing Hong will be watching over him. With Jing Hong's methods, I can suppress this young man appropriately and suppress his momentum of soaring to the sky. If I tempt him appropriately, I might be able to make him my subordinate. If that's the case, there's no harm in making him the Palace Lord. With his innate potential, he will certainly be a great help to me once he attains the Void Fragmentation Realm. However, I still want to see if he has the intention to become a sovereign and betray the Rain Palace. Will he leave the Rain Palace in the future and establish his own sect to become the second sovereign of the Rain world? Fine. I'll use the matter of the title to test if he has the intention to become a sovereign. When a cultivator of the Rain world breaks through to the Void Refinement Realm, if he or she has outstanding innate potential, he or she would be bestowed a special title by the Rain Palace. Be it King Lan Ling, Marquis Yu Gui or King Ju Lu, all of them were titles bestowed upon cultivators who had attained the Void Refinement Realm. The Rain Sovereign picked up his brush and wrote down 2 titles on a piece of paper in front of him. They were the 2 titles that he was going to bestow upon Ning Fan. One of them was King Ming, which was derived from Ning Fan's alias, Zhou Ming. The other was Marquis White Robe, which was derived from Ning Fan's graceful bearing when he wore white robes and slaughtered everyone in the world. The Rain Sovereign's eyes darkened. If Ning Fan chooses to be a king, it probably means that he has a strong desire to become a sovereign. If he chooses to be a marquis, he probably has some chances to recruit him. The Rain Sovereign would like to see what kind of title Ning Fan would choose. Lord Divine Sovereign, there is a Void Refinement Realm Devil Cultivator who intends to enter the Rain world at the World Passage of the Devil World. He is one of the 10 great devil generals under Moksha Sovereign, Dao Yen. Dao Yen has come to the Rain world to kill someone. A subordinate entered the hall and reported. Dao Yen? One of the 10 great devil generals of Moksha Sovereign wants to enter my Rain world. Humph. In the past, Moksha Sovereign forced his way through the World Passage and descended upon the Rain world. He treated my Rain world as nothing. Now, he even wants to send his subordinates into my Rain world to kill someone. Does he really think that my Rain world is the weakest in the 9 worlds and is easily bullied? Chase this person away. Don't allow him to enter our world. The Rain Sovereign's eyes turned slightly cold. This. The subordinate said awkwardly. Are you questioning my order? I don't dare to. However, that devil general Dao Yen has a sovereign execution token. Sovereign execution token. The Rain Sovereign frowned. The sovereign execution token was something that all the divine sovereigns of the 9 worlds possessed. It allowed them to enter other worlds to kill someone. Since this devil general Dao Yen came with the token, the Rain Sovereign had no choice but to let him kill someone in the Rain world. Fine. Go and send a message to open the world passage for Dao Yen. Let him choose a world to descend upon. He can't kill too many people. He can only kill one person. Understood. I will do it right away. In the Void World Passage, Devil General Dao Yen stood in the void with the token in his hand. After a long time, there was a commotion on the other side of the World Passage. Groups of Rain World cultivators opened the World Passage and allowed Dao Yen to enter. May I know which world Senior is going to descend upon? A divine transformation realm cultivator asked respectfully. Dao Yen did not speak. Instead, he took out a trace of harmonious spirit qi and sealed it into the sovereign execution token. Immediately, the sovereign execution token sensed the owner of the qi. Dao Yen said gloomily. The easternmost of the rain world. The easternmost of the rain world? Senior is going to descend upon the endless sea. The divine transformation realm cultivator of the rain palace was astonished. He had no idea who Dao Yen was going to kill in the endless sea. What puzzled him even more was the trace of harmonious spirit qi that was sealed into the sovereign execution token. He had seen the sovereign execution token before. Over the years, there were many experts from other worlds who came to kill traitors with the token. Every time they entered the worlds, those experts would seal the traitor's qi into the sovereign execution token to find the traitor's location. However, every traitor who was being hunted was at least at the void refinement realm. After all, the sovereign execution token was extremely precious. The opportunity to kill someone should not be wasted on an ant. This divine transformation realm cultivator of the Rain Palace could not understand why Moksha, sovereign of the devil world, would send a capable general to kill a harmonious spirit realm junior. However, he also understood that Moksha sovereign's matter was not something a mere divine transformation realm cultivator like him could ask. He did not say much and opened the cloud formation for Devil General Dao Yen. Dao Yen did not say anything else. He took a step into the cloud formation and his body disappeared without a trace. This cloud formation was a teleportation formation between worlds. It could teleport cultivators to any place in the rain world. However, the landing point could only be accurate to within 1 billion li. If I attack, a mere harmonious spirit realm cultivator will definitely die. Devil General Dao Yen sneered. At the same time, Ning Fan, who was discussing with Su Yen and Ming Kei in the Misthorn clan, suddenly raised his head. His eyes flashed with a hint of cold light. When Devil General Dao Yen activated the Sovereign Execution Token, Ning Fan clearly felt a trace of qi being locked onto him. In that sense, there was even undisguised killing intent. Master, what's wrong? Su Yen asked with concern. Ning Fan enslaved the Misthorn clan, but he did not kill too many people. This made her very grateful and her attitude towards Ning Fan gradually became respectful. Someone wants to kill me. However, you don't have to worry. It's just a void inquiry stage cultivator and he is very far away from me. This person seems to have chased me all the way here without stopping at all. However, he definitely won't be able to reach me without a few months. However, there's one thing that I'm very concerned about. What Ning Fan was concerned about was that there were some other qi among the void inquiry stage qi. One of them gave Ning Fan a sense of familiarity. Aya. Who is so bold to kill Ming Kei's brother Biscuit? Ming Kei will never let him go. Since someone wants to harm Brother Biscuit, let's not go to Seekong Demon Island. Let's go and beat him up first, alright? The little pill devil raised her pink and tender fists, looking like she wanted to avenge Ning Fan. Go. Why shouldn't we go? We have to go to Seekong Demon Island after all. According to Priest Chu, you have yet to receive the power of inheritance from the Si Tsang stone statue. Previously, he didn't dare to let you receive the inheritance because he was afraid that you wouldn't be able to withstand the power. However, now that I'm with you, you don't have to worry. I can protect you and let you receive Si Tsang's inheritance safely. Ning Fan glanced at Old Man Chu from the corner of his eyes. Old Man Chu immediately lowered his head in fear. After suppressing the Misthorn tribe, Ning Fan purposely looked for Old Man Chu and interrogated him. All he asked was about the secrets of Seekong Demon Island. At first, Old Man Chu refused to say anything. However, after Ning Fan slightly punished him, he spat out all of his secrets. He did not have any ill intentions towards Ming Quebec. He just wanted her to receive Si Tsang's inheritance and return to her ancestral form to become the ancient demon Si Tsang. Then, she would become their master again. After knowing this, Ning Fan let Old Man Chu go and no longer bullied him. Now, Old Man Chu was extremely afraid of Ning Fan. He still had lingering fear about the interrogation that day. Alright then. If Brother Biscuit can accompany me, I will go back to Seetsung Demon Island. From today onwards, I will eat wherever Brother Biscuit goes. The little pill devil held Ning Fan's arm. Her expression was adorable and she was trying her best to please him. She no longer wanted to leave Ning Fan's side. She wanted to eat all the pill biscuits in the world. After we go to Seekong Demon Island, we will go to Pill Island along the way. Then, we can return to the giant devil clan. With my current strength, there are some things that I can deal with. You guys rest early. We will depart tomorrow and head to Seekong Demon Island. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he floated away and returned to his room. He sat cross-legged on the bed and patted his storage pouch. He took out a bag full of spoils of war and placed it on the bed. His eyes gradually turned solemn. Immortal jade, spiritual herbs, pills, pill recipes, magic treasures. None of them caught Ning Fan's attention. The only thing that caught Ning Fan's attention were the jade slips on the bed. Each of the jade slips contained a full-force attack of Ancestor Lan Jiao. As time passed, the power of these attacks had greatly diminished. Otherwise, most of the jade slips would contain the attack power of a life immortal realm or a true immortal realm attack. As time went by, only around 20 jade slips still retained the destructive power of a void refinement realm attack and above. Among them, there were only 7 Void Inquiry stage attacks, 4 Void Pierce stage attacks, 3 Absolute Void stage attacks and 1 First Heavenly Layer Void Fragmentation realm attack. Looking at these jade slips, Ning Fan felt that it was a pity. If he could repair these jade slips and restore their former power, it would be terrifying. It's not really possible to repair them. However, these jade slips seem to have another use. Ning Fan's eyes lit up as if he thought of something. Chapter 488. Ning Fan was unable to completely repair these jade slips. It was impossible for him to restore them to the level of a true immortal realm attack. However, there was a method that he could try. It would most likely restore some of the power of these jade slips. Each of these jade scrolls had been left behind by the Mist Horn clan's ancient devil ancestor. Each of the jade scrolls contains celestial technique attacks. Due to the dissipation of the devil chi, the power of these immortal techniques had been greatly reduced. If a certain amount of devil chi was replenished, these jade slips could recover a lot of their power. As for the source of the devil chi, there is one. Rogue Devil. Ning Fan's eyes turned solemn. He had obtained a rogue devil from Wei country but he had never used it. In the past, he had imagined that he could start trying to control the rogue devil once his cultivation base reaches the peak divine transformation realm. However, the risks involved were naturally extremely great. Ning Fan could not guarantee that he would not be devoured by the rogue devil. The higher his cultivation base was, the lower the risk of controlling the rogue devil. Therefore, he would never risk his life to use the rogue devil unless he was being chased by a void fragmentation realm expert. After that, when he was refining the heaven-deceiving cloak, the All-Heaven Relic, which was a necessary item to control the loose demon, was accidentally swallowed by the cloak. After losing the All-Heaven Relic, Ning Fan was even more uncertain about whether he could control the rogue devil. Fortunately, now that he had broken through to the mid-reckless devil realm, his cultivation base had improved tremendously. Besides, he had also mastered the method of planting slave marks. Thus, he could try to control the rogue devil again. If he really could not control the rogue devil, Ning Fan could only wait until his cultivation base was higher before trying again. However, borrowing the powerful demonic chi of the scattered devil to replenish the power of the jade slip was a wonderful thing. It would definitely succeed. Rogue devils, rogue immortals and rogue demons are at least at the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. If I had the All-Heaven Relic, I'd have at least a 30% chance of success in controlling the rogue devil with my reckless devil cultivation base. However, without the relic, I'm not sure what my chances of success are. We have to be extremely cautious when it comes to subduing the rogue devils. Ning Fan remained silent for a while. Then, he activated the Yin Yang locket and floated into the profound Yin world. Other living creatures could not enter the profound Yin world. Once it sensed a living creature, the power of the realm would suppress it, not allowing living creatures to enter. This could be exploited. He had tried several times to summon the female cultivator in his cauldron ring in the profound Yin world but to no avail. Currently, Ning Fan could not control the realm power of the profound Yin world at all. Otherwise, he would be able to let other living beings enter it. Currently, Ning Fan was the only one who could enter the profound Yin world. As for Luo Yu, she was an exception. For the same reason, no matter how powerful the loose devil's cultivation was, he would not be able to resist the power of the boundary realm. He would not be able to escape from the storage pouch and enter the profound Yin world. Even if he fails to subdue the rogue devil in the profound Yin world, he would not be in any danger with the help of the power that separates the worlds. In the profound Yin world, Ning Fan entered it with a flash of light. He floated in the Yin Qi of heaven and earth. In that vast and empty world, there was only a straw hut floating and a giant monument hanging high above. Perhaps one day, when my cultivation base reaches a certain level, I will be able to control the world power of the profound Yin world at will and allow others to enter this world. As for letting little Yu'er leave the profound Yin world, perhaps I will only be able to do it after I attain the void fragmentation realm. Ning Fan scanned the thatched cottage with his spirit sense. When he saw that Luo Yu was still in a deep sleep, his eyes flashed and he shook his head with a smile. Luo Yu's primordial spirit had already recovered to the first heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. Moreover, it was showing signs of advancing to the second heavenly layer. The injuries accumulated from using the secret technique that day had all recovered, but she still hadn't woken up. Before this, Ning Fan only thought that she had yet to fully recover from her injuries. Now that Ning Fan's cultivation base had improved tremendously, he could tell that the reason why Luo Yu did not wake up had nothing to do with her injuries. Instead, her body was sleeping on its own. She was trying to use the remaining medicinal power of the dark golden bamboo leaves to break through to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm in one go. Only then would she truly wake up. In other words, Luo Yu would not wake up unless her cultivation base recovers to the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. There are still 4 dark golden bamboo leaves. If I can obtain 20 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs and use them to harmonize the bamboo leaves, I will certainly be able to wake little Yu'er up and restore her second heavenly layer void fragmentation realm strength. At that time, she will be an expert at the second heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. With her by my side, I won't be afraid even if a void fragmentation realm expert of the rain world attacks me. In a flash, Ning Fan flew far away from the thatched cottage and subdued the rogue devil 10 million li away from the cottage. Even though the rogue devil would not escape from the storage pouch, there would certainly be great fluctuations when it is subdued. If he gets too close to it, he might disturb Luo Yu's sleep. Standing amidst the heavy Yin Qi of heaven and earth, Ning Fan took a deep breath. He shook his cauldron ring and took out the storage pouch that contained the rogue devil. The surface of the storage pouch was engraved with layers upon layers of swastika. Even through the layers of seals, Ning Fan could still feel the monstrous devil qi inside the storage pouch. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with determination. He slightly opened the pouch to reveal a small opening. Immediately, monstrous devil qi gushed out from the pouch like a flood. At the same time, an excited and wild laughter resounded across heaven and earth. In the midst of the laughter, a black shadow suddenly darted out from the gap of the storage pouch, trying to get out of the pouch and enter the profound Yin world. Ha! The storage pouch is finally open. I can finally escape. This black shadow was the rogue devil that the Wei ancestor raised. His laughter was mixed with the terrifying aura force of the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm. It drowned Ning Fan like a flood. Ning Fan's eyes widened. He immediately activated his ancestral talisman and ancestral blood to resist the devil might of the rogue devil. This was his first time experiencing the devil might of a rogue devil. It was the aura force of a 9th heavenly layer void fragmentation realm expert. If he did not have the ancestral blood and ancestral talisman, he would certainly be intimidated by its might. Rumble, the rogue devil tried to get out of the storage pouch. However, his head bumped into an invisible barrier at the entrance of the pouch, producing a deafening sound. The rogue devil let out a cry of pain. He was greatly shocked. To his horror, he realized that even if the pouch was opened, he still could not escape from it. This is the boundary barrier of the realm. Besides, judging from its strength, it's a dimensional barrier that can only be formed in a medium-sized world. As long as the Realm Lord does not allow it, the boundary barrier will prevent all living beings from entering the inner world. Damn it! This is impossible. Why am I kept in this medium-sized world? Who is the Realm Lord of this medium-sized world? Get out here right now. Hurry up and remove the barrier and let me out of this world. Otherwise, once I escape from this storage pouch, I will certainly bathe this medium-sized world in blood. Noisy. When the rogue devil was making a ruckus, Ning Fan suddenly released the might force of his ancestral blood and suppressed the storage pouch. The might force of the 4 drops of ancestral blood was extremely vast. Even if the rogue devil was at the 9th heavenly layer of the void fragmentation realm, as long as he was still a member of the devil race, he would feel the humbleness and fear of his bloodline. In front of the might force of the bloodline, the rogue devil's expression changed dramatically. Ancestral devil. How is this possible? Even though he had been trapped in the storage pouch for countless years, the rogue devil knew that there were only 9 great ancestral devils left in the future and all of them had been suppressed. He could not imagine that there was a living ancestral devil right outside the storage pouch. However, after observing it carefully, he realized that even though the ancestral devil bloodline outside the storage pouch was strong, its cultivation base seemed to be very weak. Its chi was only at the void refinement realm. He could not understand why a void refinement realm devil race member would possess ancestral grade devil blood. Then, he realized that the chi of this ancestral devil was a little familiar, as if he had seen it somewhere before. It's you. You're that little cultivator in the past. Humph. It seems like you're quite fortunate to have broken through to the void refinement realm and cultivated the ancestral blood. However, in my eyes, you're still just an ant. Since you can stay in this medium-sized world, you must know the Realm Lord. Quickly call the Realm Lord here and remove the boundary barrier to let me out. Otherwise. Humph. The rogue devil suddenly recalled that the chi of this ancestral devil clearly belonged to Ning Fan, who had obtained the storage pouch in the past. However, what the rogue devil could not understand was that it had only been several tens of years since the last time he met Ning Fan. What was more, he did not expect was that Ning Fan was the Realm Lord of this medium-sized world. He thought that the Realm Lord was someone else. Several tens of years ago, Ning Fan was just at the harmonious spirit chi realm. In just a few tens of years, he had already attained the void refinement realm and even cultivated the ancestral grade devil blood. To the rogue devils, this was unavoidably rather shocking. However, this rogue devil was arrogant by nature. His cultivation base was terrifying and he was not afraid of Ning Fan at all. His tone was incomparably arrogant, as if he was the king of heaven. It seems that you still remember my aura. Furthermore, your personality still annoys me. I need to teach you a lesson. Talisman, appear. Ning Fan did not have the intention to catch up with the rogue devil. He directly waved his hand and summoned his ancestral talisman. He activated the power of the talisman to produce slave marks and sent them into his storage pouch. Every slave mark had the power to enslave a soul formation realm fiend, and all of them were planted on the scattered devils. Immediately, the scattered devils' blood-curdling screams rang through the air. He was furious to the extreme, and there was even a trace of fear. How dare you enslave me? You're courting death. Ah! When the slave marks entered one's body, the pain was no small matter. Even a rogue devil would not be able to endure it. However, after each slave mark was inserted into the rogue devil's body, it would not be able to subdue the devil due to the lack of power of the slave marks. Ning Fan frowned. Without stopping, he continued to plant slave marks on the rogue devil for 2 hours straight. As for the rogue devil, its screams also lasted for 2 hours. In the end, it screamed until it was hoarse from the pain. Even so, it still could not be subdued by Ning Fan. However, it was obvious that it was somewhat afraid of Ning Fan. His words also changed from cursing to begging for mercy and negotiating with Ning Fan. Little cultivator. Quickly stop. Let's talk this out. These slave marks are really killing me. Little cultivator. Even though I'm not willing to be your slave, as long as you are willing to let me go, I can promise to help you a few times and eliminate a few strong enemies for you. What do you think? Little cultivator, the rogue devil kept trying to bewitch Ning Fan with words. However, Ning Fan did not believe any of it. If he could not subdue the rogue devil, he would definitely not let it out of his storage pouch. This devil was arrogant and bloodthirsty. Once it escapes, it would not keep its promise at all. Perhaps, it would swallow Ning Fan whole and then go to destroy the rain world. Ning Fan's eyes became darker and darker. He kept sending out slave marks but none of them could subdue the rogue devil. He shook his head and sighed. It seems like I can't subdue this devil with my mid-reckless devil realm cultivation base. Ning Fan stopped using the ancestral talisman and stopped planting slave marks on the rogue devil. His cultivation base was not strong enough to control the rogue devil with the slave marks. Thus, it would be futile for him to plant slave marks on it. Since the slave marks could not be used for now and the All-Heaven relic was already destroyed, Ning Fan's mind raced. There were only 2 ways to subdue the rogue devil. The first was to increase his cultivation base. When his cultivation base was higher, he would try to subdue the rogue devil. The second was to refine a slave treasure and use it to subdue the rogue devil. Slave treasures were an ancient magic treasure that was used to subdue demons and devils. However, it had been lost for a long time. Today, only a few Buddhist sects knew the method to refine it. In ancient times, many cultivators of the Buddhist sects were good at refining slave treasures which were specifically used to subdue ancient demons and devils. After unifying the Misthorn clan, Ning Fan took away all the devil scriptures of the Misthorn clan. Among them, he found an ancient scripture which recorded the method to refine a certain kind of slave treasure. That slave treasure was called Devil Subduing Hoop. The method to refine it was left behind by the progenitor of the Misthorn clan. According to rumors, there was once a great expert of the Buddhist sects who tried to subdue the progenitor of the Misthorn clan with the Devil Subduing Hoop. However, he was killed by the latter instead. The method to refine the Devil Subduing Hoop was obtained by the progenitor of the Misthorn clan. The Devil Subduing Hoop was also divided into different grades. The higher the grade of the hoop, the rarer the spiritual ores needed to refine it. Unfortunately, Ning Fan could not even gather enough spiritual ores to refine the Devil Subduing Hoop of the lowest grade. Many of the spiritual ores in the hoop had already gone extinct in the rain world. Otherwise, if he could refine the Devil Subduing Hoop, he would just need to put the golden hoop on the rogue devil. Then, no matter how powerful the rogue devil was, it would never be able to escape from Ning Fan's control. Whether or not I can refine the Devil Subduing Hoop to subdue the rogue devil depends on my luck. I can't force it. The only thing I can hope for is to continuously improve my strength and use my own methods to enslave the rogue devil for my own use. Let's put this matter aside for now. I'll first borrow the devil chi of the rogue devil to replenish the power of the jade slips. Talisman, devour. Ning Fan patted his storage pouch and took out 15 jade slips. Each of them contained the remnant power of one of the past old ancestors of the Misthorn clan. When he activated the ancestral talisman, it formed a vortex that devoured devil chi. It continuously extracted devil chi from his storage pouch and channeled it into the jade slips. Inside the storage pouch, the rogue devil heaved a sigh of relief when he saw Ning Fan stop planting the slave marks. However, his heart was filled with resentment towards Ning Fan. A mere void refinement realm insignificant cultivator actually dares to subdue me with slave marks. How audacious of you! Humph! Don't give me a chance to escape from your storage pouch. Otherwise, you will definitely die. Just as the rogue devil's eyes flashed with ferocious light, he suddenly realized that the devil chi in his body was being extracted by someone irresistibly. Wisps of devil chi were being drawn out of his storage pouch. Along with the loss of his devil chi, the rogue devil's cultivation base was also declining bit by bit. This time, the rogue devil was really frightened. He finally realized that it was Ning Fan who was extracting his devil chi and crippling his cultivation base. Under normal circumstances, Ning Fan would not be able to extract the devil chi of a rogue devil expert no matter what. However, the rogue devil was sealed and Ning Fan had the ancestral talisman. Hence, he could extract the devil chi of this rogue devil. By extracting the devil chi to replenish the power of the jade slips, if Ning Fan could not control the rogue devil directly, he would just use the rogue devil as nourishment for the recovery of the jade slips. In just a few breaths, Ning Fan had already extracted a large amount of devil chi and increased the power of the 15 jade slips. All of the 14 Void Refinement Realm attack jade slips had reached the standard of a first heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm attack. As for the attack at the first heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm, it had leaped to the power of the second heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. As for the poor rogue devil, his cultivation base was extracted by Ning Fan, causing his cultivation base to fall from the 9th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm to the 8th heavenly layer. For the first time, the rogue devil realized that Ning Fan, who looked kind and gentle, was actually so ruthless. He extracted his devil chi and crippled his cultivation base. Gritting his teeth, the rogue devil made a series of hand seals and spurted out blood continuously. He used the blood seals to lock his devil chi and prevented it from being extracted. However, the backlash he suffered was definitely not light. You're ruthless. The rogue devil gnashed his teeth. He hated and feared Ning Fan's methods. One moment, he planted slave marks on him, causing him unbearable pain. The next moment, he extracted his devil chi and crippled his cultivation base. He no longer dared to scold Ning Fan. At least, he did not dare to do so openly in case he angered Ning Fan and provoked him to use other extreme methods on him. What a pity. I didn't expect you to know how to seal your own devil chi. You're indeed a rogue devil. At first, I wanted to extract your cultivation base to the 6th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm in one go and then try to subdue you. Now, it seems like this idea is impossible to realize. To Ning Fan, the rogue devil was just a tool to deal with Moksha Sovereign. Moksha Sovereign was at the 5th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm. As long as the rogue devil's cultivation base was higher than Moksha Sovereign's, it would be enough. The lower the cultivation base, the easier it would be to control. If he can cripple the rogue devil's cultivation base to the 6th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm in one go, the difficulty of subduing the rogue devil would certainly be greatly reduced. Or if he could extract all of the rogue devil's devil chi and increase the destructive power of the jade slips to the 6th heavenly layer of the Void Fragmentation Realm, it would certainly be able to severely injure Moksha Sovereign. Unfortunately, the rogue devil had sealed his own devil chi. Hence, it would be difficult to realize these ideas. Fortunately, after absorbing the devil chi of the rogue devil, the power of the 15 jade slips had greatly increased. Excluding the steel of Sun and Moon, Ning Fan already had 17 first heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm attacks to protect himself. He even had a second heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm attack which was enough to severely injure a first heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm old monster. With so many trump cards, Ning Fan could protect himself even if he faces a first heavenly layer Void Fragmentation Realm expert. Slightly crippling the rogue devil's cultivation base which he could not subdue in exchange for so many trump cards was just too worthwhile. He resealed the storage pouch and kept it into his cauldron ring. The surroundings returned to silence. I might stay on Seekong Demon Island for a while, but it won't be for too long. I can go to the Pill Island on my way back. I wonder if I can break through to the 6th Revolution Pill Refinement Realm with the help of the Soul Washing Pond. With my current trump cards, it will be a piece of cake for me to kill the 8 ancestors when I return to the Giant Devil Clan. With me around, Feng Shuian will certainly be fine. After that, I can go home. Even though only a few decades had passed in the outside world, his bone age had already reached 500 years. He had already spent 500 years cultivating in various ways. Thus, he began to miss the scenery of Yu country a little. He had promised old ancestor Dong Su that he would help him break through to the Void Refinement Realm in the Sovereign Tomb. There were still 10 years before the Sovereign Tomb would open. He still had some blood wine which would take around 10 years to brew. He had promised Hong Yi a small favor. However, he would have to wait at least 10 years before Hong Yi would come to him for help. Within these 10 years, there was no need for him to stay in the Endless Sea. He could go back to Yu country to have a look first. To cultivators, returning to their hometown was a luxury. Once they embark on the path of cultivation, it was hard to predict when they would return. Thinking of the beauties in his hometown, Ning Fan let out a relieved smile. If he returns to Yu country this time, he could probably change back to his real name. He had already become so strong that he no longer needed to conceal his identity. There was also no need for him to deceive the world to gain a reputation. He was neither a vile person nor a gentleman. However, he would most likely have no regrets along the way. **************************** Ning Fan took out a stalk of bell orchid. It was the stalk that he prepared to give to Jihe. A gentle breeze blew and the bell orchid emitted a clear and melodious sound of wind chimes, making Ning Fan's eyes blur. Before daybreak, he did not cultivate like he usually did. Instead, he just closed his eyes and listened to the sound of the wind chimes. Chapter 489. The immortal jade, spiritual herbs, devil scriptures and many other treasures of the Misthorn clan were all taken away by Ning Fan. The members of the Misthorn clan were suppressed by the slave marks. They would never be able to leave Tai Chi Devil City. Even the 2 Void Refinement Realm experts, Gui Jiao and Yin Gong, had their cultivation bases crippled. They were imprisoned in the clan and were never allowed to leave until their lifespans came to an end. The 4 great devil clans that were once prominent in the past had declined overnight and became Ning Fan's slaves. This matter shocked the entire world. Su Yan did not have any objection to such a punishment. She just brought along the 12 silver-scaled horned dragons and left the Misthorn village with Ning Fan. On this day, a dazzling silver wooden boat suddenly emerged from the depths of the tranquil sea. It soared into the sky and flew into the clouds. This wooden boat was a rare traveling treasure of ancient cultivators. It was pulled by 12 horned dragons and its speed was infinitely close to the Void Pierce stage. This was naturally Su Yan's doing. As the former Misthorn clan's clan leader, it wasn't strange for her to obtain a top-grade escape artifact. Ning Fan stood at the bow of the silver boat with Su Yan and little Ming Kei standing behind him. As for the group of Divine Transformation Realm cultivators who followed Ming Kei, they were in charge of steering the boat. When the 12 half-step Void Refinement Realm silver-scaled horned dragons were flying, their auras were extremely great. All the cultivators along the way could sense the powerful aura of the silver ship from afar. They didn't dare to approach it for fear of angering the powerhouse on the ship. Only a few old monsters recognized the origin of the silver boat and guessed that Su Yan and Ning Fan would be on it. They wanted to catch up to the silver boat and pay their respects to Ning Fan, but they could not catch up to the boat at all. Ning Fan had no intention to pay attention to the cultivators along the way. He kept his eyes closed and listened to the sounds of the wind. In his mind, he was planning the next step of his cultivation. The cultivation of an ancient devil in the Middle Reckless Devil Realm was equivalent to the second Golden Body Realm. However, it was far stronger than the second Golden Body Realm. It was almost on par with the third Golden Body Realm. Even though his physical body had broken through to the reckless devil realm, his magic power was still at the half-step void refinement realm. In the end, he still needed to truly break through to the void refinement realm. Moreover, after breaking through to the void refinement realm, he still needed to make plans to advance step by step towards the void fragmentation realm. It had been 40 years since he left U country. Only he himself knew how difficult it was for him to reach this stage in just 40 years. When one's cultivation base had reached this level, the difficulty of advancing to the void fragmentation realm was far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. In the lower 9 worlds, only void fragmentation realm experts were the existences that truly stood at the peak. All those below the void fragmentation realm were ants. To him, breaking through to the void fragmentation realm was still a little out of his reach. Pills, Tao fruits, and cauldrons. If I want to break through to the void fragmentation realm, all 3 of them are indispensable. It's been a long time since I caught a human cauldron for cultivation. With my current cultivation realm, I need to at least catch a void refinement realm human cauldron to cultivate. Unfortunately, the rain world is huge and there are only a few void refinement realm female cultivators. It's not enough for me to cultivate at all. Ning Fan opened his eyes and looked at Su Yan from the corner of his eyes. He shook his head and remained silent. To Ning Fan, Su Yan was an excellent human cauldron. Be it her cultivation level or appearance, she was the best choice. However, it was impossible for Ning Fan to pluck her because she was his devil concubine. Sensing Ning Fan's gaze, Su Yan smiled and gracefully stroked the hair on her temples. There is lust in Master's eyes. Do you want me to serve you? That moment of desire to pluck the furnace did not escape Su Yan's wise eyes. Not at the moment. Ning Fan chuckled and shook his head. Even though he had a good impression of Su Yan, it was not the love between a man and a woman. Moreover, he had never treated her as a human cauldron. Thus, he naturally would not have a relationship with her recklessly. Boom! Above the clouds in the distance, a loud cracking sound suddenly resounded. Pieces of the void were forcefully torn apart by someone. At the place where the void was torn apart, 3 void inquiry stage experts' powerful magic power fluctuations could be felt from the battle. It was enough to make any divine transformation realm cultivator tremble in fear. Immediately, all the divine transformation realm cultivators on the silver boat became nervous. Ming Ke also stopped chewing on her pills with a solemn expression. As for Su Yan, she immediately took out her magic treasure and stood in front of Ning Fan with full vigilance. Her brows were tightly knitted together. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He spread out his spirit sense and found 3 void inquiry stage old monsters tearing apart the void 100,000 li in front of him. One of them was chasing after the other 2. At first, when Ning Fan sensed the magic power fluctuations from their battle, he even thought that they were related to the people who locked their killing intent on them. However, after taking a closer look, Ning Fan realized that the 3 void inquiry stage old monsters had nothing to do with the locking of their killing intent. The 2 void inquiry stage old monsters were both dressed in green robes. They originally had white hair and a youthful complexion, but now, they looked extremely miserable. Their bodies were riddled with wounds and their chi was weak. They were desperately running away in a panicked manner. The one who was chasing after the 2 green-robed old men was a red-haired lady with heavy gloomy chi. Her skin was pale but her lips were as red as blood. Her eyes were bewitching but cruel. That red-haired lady was the same as the 2 old men. Both of them were at the void inquiry stage. However, her strength was almost at the unrivaled void inquiry stage. The 2 old men were far from being comparable to her. In addition, the 2 old men were severely injured. If there were no accidents, it would only be a matter of time before the red-haired lady caught up to them and killed them. The 2 old men definitely would not be able to defeat her. Ning Fan withdrew his expression and gave the order to turn the bow of the silver boat around. He had no intention of getting involved in this battle. The 2 green-robed old men were originally fighting against the red-haired lady in the void. However, they were not her match and nearly died in her hands. They had no choice but to tear apart the void and flee in a panic. However, they suddenly saw Ning Fan and the others at this place. As soon as they saw Ning Fan and Su Yan, the two void inquiry stage experts on the silver boat, they felt as if they had seen a life-saving straw. Thus, they naturally wanted to ask for help. Even though the two of them did not know Ning Fan, they knew a little about Su Yan, who was a void refinement realm expert of the rain world. They knew how strong she was. The two of them desperately dodged the red-haired lady's attacks and hurriedly boarded the silver boat. Then, they panted heavily and asked Su Yan for help. "Are you Fairy Su of the Misthorn clan? The two elders of Ling Nan are in trouble and I happen to meet you here. I hope that Fairy Su and this fellow Taoist can lend us a hand. We will certainly reward you handsomely after this matter is over." The two old men did not know Ning Fan's strength. However, they reckoned that if they have Su Yan's help, it should not be a problem for them to deal with the red-haired lady. The two elders of Ling Nan. Su Yan was slightly stunned. She seemed to have heard of the two old men's names before. However, judging from their expressions, she was not familiar with them. Ning Fan, on the other hand, frowned. After the two elders of Ling Nan fled to the silver boat, the red-haired lady who was chasing after them also locked her killing intent on the silver boat. She began to attack the boat with all her might, forcing the silver boat to stop. "Those who protect the two of them will die." The red-haired lady's killing intent was thick. Obviously, the red-haired lady had already regarded Ning Fan and the others as the accomplices of the two elders of Ling Nan. Thus, she decided to kill them all as well. The red-haired lady held a gigantic sickle in the shape of a blood moon. Each of her blood-red slashes at the silver boat was comparable to an attack from an unrivaled void inquiry stage expert. It was enough to severely injure an ordinary void glimpse stage expert. Su Yan strode forward gracefully as she raised her white hand, and a violet copper dragon horn appeared. It emitted rays of violet and red light that dispersed the slashes of the red-haired woman, and she seemed to be on par with the red-haired woman. Even though Ning Fan did not have the intention to save the two elders of Ling Nan, the red-haired lady's action of attacking the silver boat made Ning Fan's eyes turn cold. He was just worrying about not having enough human cauldrons to capture. Since this red-haired lady attacked him indiscriminately, he did not mind keeping a void refinement realm human cauldron. "Yen Air, step back. Let me handle this." "Why did you call me Yen Air?" Su Yan's cheeks turned slightly red. Her almond-shaped eyes moved slightly, but she secretly hid her redness and stepped back obediently. Ning Fan, on the other hand, leaped into the sky from the silver boat and dashed towards the red-haired lady's slashes. This scene greatly exceeded the expectations of the two elders of Ling Nan. The two Ling Nan elders were rogue cultivators in the rain world. They had been out searching for ancient cultivators' remains all year round, searching for all kinds of opportunities. They rarely paid attention to the rumors in the outside world. Thus, they naturally did not know that Ning Fan's reputation had risen among the void refinement realm cultivators of the rain world. Even though they could tell that Ning Fan had the chi of a void inquiry stage expert, they also noticed that he had just broken through to the void inquiry stage not long ago. His foundation was rather shallow. Therefore, the two of them did not think that Ning Fan was that strong. They also did not think that Ning Fan could fight against the red-haired lady. In their minds, the only one who could compete with the red-haired woman was the Misthorn tribe's patriarch, Su Yan. Of course, the two of them didn't even know that Su Yan had left the Misthorn tribe. Seeing that Su Yan and the red-haired woman were evenly matched, the two heaved a sigh of relief. They were about to help Su Yan fight back against the red-haired woman. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Ning Fan asked Su Yan to retreat with just a sentence and fought the red-haired lady alone. In the eyes of the two elders of Ling Nan, this was undoubtedly an extremely stupid move. Fellow Taoist, this red-haired lady is extremely strong. She is almost unrivaled among void inquiry stage experts. She is definitely not someone you can fight against. Before the two of them could finish their words, they suddenly froze on the spot, dumbfounded. They saw Ning Fan facing the red-haired lady's scythe attacks with ease compared to Su Yan. Just by raising his palm, he could use the strength of his physical body to crush the slashes of the Blood Moon. Just by waving his fist, he could deliver an attack that was comparable to an unrivaled Void Inquiry stage expert, causing the red-haired lady to be in a difficult situation. Judging from this strength, Ning Fan was obviously not weaker than Su Yan. He definitely had the strength of an unrivaled expert among Void Inquiry stage experts. The two elders of Ling Nan no longer dared to underestimate Ning Fan. Both of them realized that they had greatly underestimated Ning Fan's strength. However, the two of them did not understand. If Ning Fan had the strength of an unrivaled expert among Void Inquiry stage experts, he would certainly have become famous in the Rain world a long time ago. Even if the two of them did not care about the affairs of the Rain world, they should have more or less heard of Ning Fan's name. Why did he look so unfamiliar to them? How dare you stop me from killing someone? Are you tired of living? The red-haired lady was enraged. She realized that her attacks could not do anything to Ning Fan at all. Instead, she was being suppressed by Ning Fan. In her rage, layers of blood-red baleful qi suddenly appeared around the lady's body. The baleful qi seeped into her red hair. All of a sudden, her elegant and soft long hair seemed to have come alive, turning into long blood-red snakes. Each of them opened their bloody mouths and spat out blood-red flames at Ning Fan. 100,000 strands of her hair were equivalent to 100,000 blood-red snakes. The lady's tone was cold. She performed a hand seal and 100,000 streams of blood-red fiery rain shot out from her hair. The 100,000 fiery rain contained the lady's determination to kill Ning Fan. Her killing intent was terrifying. Killing secret technique, snake hair technique. The combined attack of 100,000 fiery rain was already infinitely close to a Void Pierce stage attack. Even if the two elders of Ling Nan were at their peak, they would not be able to withstand this attack. Both of them turned pale with fright when they saw the fiery snake hair. Ning Fan, however, remained calm and unruffled in the face of these fiery snakes. He gently raised his palm and a vortex that could devour flames rose from the center of his palm, absorbing all of the fiery snakes. Fire plucking technique. That powerful attack that was comparable to a Void Pierce stage attack was easily broken by Ning Fan just like that. How is this possible? This fellow Taoist actually withstood these fiery snakes so easily. Even a Void Pierce stage old monster might not be able to do it so easily, right? Indestructible fire body. It must be the indestructible fire body. This fellow Taoist's way of restraining the fiery snakes is like the Emperor of Flames. It must be because he has the legendary indestructible fire body. While the two of them were exclaiming in surprise, the red-haired lady was utterly shocked. She did not expect that her strongest secret technique would be broken by Ning Fan so easily. She waved her blood moon scythe and was about to use other magic techniques to attack Ning Fan. At the next moment, she saw Ning Fan suddenly summoning his 8 black burning wings. With a flap of his wings, he approached her at a speed that was comparable to a Void Pierce stage expert. Then, he pointed his plucking finger at her breasts. His attack was too fast. It was so fast that the red-haired lady had no time to defend herself. She could only let her breasts be penetrated. Her cold eyes wished that she could cut him into 1,000 pieces. However, as soon as her breasts were touched by Ning Fan, traces of finger force immediately spread to her entire body, making it difficult for her to mobilize her magic power. Her entire body began to feel numb and soft. Her delicate body began to heat up. She was obviously affected by Ning Fan's bewitching technique. How dare you? How dare you? Her face turned red in an extremely short period of time. She was panting heavily. She could not even speak clearly. This bewitching technique was too overbearing. It was the first time in her life that the red-haired lady saw someone who could subdue a Void Inquiry stage female cultivator with a single finger. Before she could resist, her body had already fallen into Ning Fan's arms. Ning Fan continuously pointed his plucking finger at her, and all of her magic power was completely sealed. So what if you have a bewitching technique? Secret killing technique, killing sense technique. Waves of faint red spirit sense power rushed out of the lady's sea of consciousness. Each of them was covered with killing intent and turned into blood-red spirit sense blades. All of a sudden, they slashed at the top of Ning Fan's head. At the same time, they also slashed at everyone on the silver boat. This faint red spirit sense was extremely similar to sword sense. If someone could pry into the lady's sea of consciousness, they would certainly realize that her sea of consciousness had already been completely cultivated into the form of killing intent. It was her killing sense and killing sense. The fact that this lady could cultivate her killing sense really surprised Ning Fan. When she used her killing sense to attack Ming Ke and Su Yan, Ning Fan was a little angry. When the lady released her killing sense, Ning Fan also released his sword sense and stood in front of everyone, clashing with her killing sense time and time again. Boom boom boom. After every clash of spirit sense, the lady would let out a muffled groan. In the end, all of her killing sense was shattered by Ning Fan's sword sense. She stared at Ning Fan in disbelief. She still wanted to use her trump card to kill Ning Fan. This time, however, Ning Fan did not give her the chance to attack again. He directly pointed his finger at the top of her head, causing her to faint. Then, he tied her up with a magic treasure rope and tossed her into his cauldron ring. It had been a long time since he caught a human cauldron. However, his current technique was not rusty at all. He might not be willing to pluck Su Yan, but he did not have the slightest bit of pity for a ruthless lady who wanted to take his life as soon as she appeared. This was a human cauldron that delivered itself to his doorstep. The only thing that Ning Fan was concerned about was the background and identity of this red-haired lady. The trump cards that she had seemed to have a powerful background. From the moment Ning Fan made his move to capturing the red-haired lady alive, it had only been 10 breaths or so. Everything happened in the blink of an eye. The two elders of Ling Nan were completely stunned. It was hard for them to imagine that the red-haired lady who made them run for their lives was actually captured by Ning Fan so easily. Tell me this lady's identity and the reason why she chased after the two of you. If the two of you hide anything from me, don't blame me for being merciless. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold and glanced at the two elders. Immediately, their souls trembled. They did not dare to look at Ning Fan's eyes directly. They also did not dare to hide anything from Ning Fan. Ning Fan's strength was too terrifying. If he could even capture the red-haired lady alive, it would not be difficult for him to kill the two elders. It's a long story. It's all our fault. When we were searching for an ancient cultivator's ruin, we accidentally found a realm passageway that was filled with dense killing chi. That's how this calamity was triggered. The two elders smiled apologetically at Ning Fan and told him what happened. Chapter 490. The two elders of Ling Nan did not dare to hide anything from Ning Fan's questions at all. All they could do was to tell him the whole story. It turned out that it was purely an accident that the red-haired female cultivator had chased after the two Ling Nan elders. The two of them were void inquiry stage old monsters. They had been searching for the remains of ancient cultivators all year round. This time, when they were searching for the remains of an ancient cultivator, they accidentally discovered a world passage that was filled with dense killing chi. It was unknown where that world passage led to, but it seemed to lead to some broken lesser kiliacosm. It wasn't strange for an ancient cultivator ruin to appear in a hidden plane. Many ancient cultivators loved to hide their treasures in a hidden plane. Naturally, the two elders of Southridge wanted to explore it. However, only after the two of them entered did they realize that this small kiliacosm was really special. It was filled with a killing intent that made even void refinement realm old monsters feel nauseous. Unless one was a devil lord that cultivated the Tao of slaughter, no one would be able to remain calm in this place at all. In the depths of the broken world, there were also many ferocious and obscure void refinement realm chi. They were probably the living beings that were left behind in this broken world. When the two of them entered the broken world, they had already given them a warning. If you are not a citizen of this world, leave immediately, or die. His tone was extremely rude, but there were many experts in the depths of the broken world, causing the two of them to be fearful. The two of them did not dare to venture deep into the broken world. They only searched around the periphery. There were no treasures in the periphery, not even any spirit herbs. There were only endless blood-colored weeds, a species that the two of them had never seen before. The two elders of Lingnan did not dare to venture deep into the broken world, but they were not willing to return empty-handed. After some consideration, he casually plucked some blood-red weeds to study in the future before leaving. Unexpectedly, his action of plucking the weeds alarmed the Void Refinement Realm experts in the broken world. Immediately, the red-haired female cultivator took the lead and chased after them. Behind the red-haired female cultivator, there were more than 10 Void Refinement Realm cultivators and hundreds of Divine Transformation Realm cultivators. All of them were female cultivators. These female cultivators were as beautiful as flowers and full of vitality, but they all had ruthless expressions on their faces. The two elders of Lingnan were shocked half to death. They never imagined that there would be so many experts hidden in a broken world. What was worse was that both of them could sense a void fragmentation realm chi gradually awakening in the depths of the broken world. That void fragmentation realm expert gave out an order that was as cold as ice, as if the end of the world had arrived. All blood slaves, listen up. Capture the medicine thieves for me and kill them without mercy. At this moment, the Lingnan elders almost had the urge to vomit blood. They had only casually plucked a handful of weeds, and they had become drug thieves. Why would he be hunted down by so many experts? A void fragmentation realm old monster gave the order to kill without mercy. If they really stole some peerless elixir, they could accept being hunted down. However, the two elders of Lingnan were very sure that the weeds they picked had no medicinal value. They were definitely weeds and not some kind of spiritual medicine. Injustice, this is really too injustice. The two Lingnan elders understood that it was impossible to reason with them now. They also understood that if this group of experts caught up to them, the two of them would have no chance of survival. They had to escape immediately. The two of them did not dare to stay in this world any longer. They immediately escaped from the broken world with all their might. Then, they attacked together and destroyed the world passage of the broken world. Apart from the red-haired woman, the other experts from the broken world were all blocked at the other end of the tunnel. They did not have the time to chase after the Demon King. Although the red-haired woman was the only one who chased after the Lingnan elders, she almost killed them all by herself. In the beginning, the two elders looked down on the red-haired woman when they saw that she was just a void inquiry stage cultivator and she was alone. Both of them were void inquiry stage experts as well. They thought that if it were 2 against 1, they would have a great chance of winning. However, they did not expect that the red-haired woman's techniques were so shocking. Her cultivation base was almost at the unrivaled level among void inquiry stage experts. She was not someone that the two elders of Lingnan could resist at all. The red-haired woman used some kind of secret killing technique and injured the two elders of Lingnan with ease. Then, she began a series of attacks to kill them. The two elders of Lingnan who were severely injured desperately tried to escape. In the end, they tore the hollow space apart and met Ning Fan and the others by chance. Only then were they saved. This was what the two elders of Lingnan knew. Now that they had survived the disaster, they still had a sad expression on their faces when they told the story. I didn't expect that there would actually be a void fragmentation realm living being in the broken world of an ancient cultivator's remains. You two are considered quite lucky to be able to escape from an old monster of that level. Ning Fan said indifferently. Lucky? Sigh. If it wasn't for fellow Taoist who saved us, we would definitely have died in the hands of that evil woman. What kind of luck is that? Hee, I haven't asked for fellow Taoist's name yet. Fellow Taoist has unrivaled strength among void inquiry stage experts, but we have never heard of your name before. Could it be that fellow Taoist isn't someone from the Rain world? The two elders of Lingnan were still very curious about Ning Fan's identity. With his strength, it was impossible for him to be unknown among the Void Refinement Realm cultivators of the Rain World. Zhou Ming, a rogue cultivator of the Rain World. Oh, it's fellow Taoist Zhou. Nice to meet you. Fellow Taoist saved our lives. Please accept this token of gratitude. The two elders of Ling Nan each consumed a healing pill to slightly suppress their injuries. Then, they took out 5 jade boxes that were exquisitely sealed. Each of the boxes contained a tuft of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. These 5 tufts of 100,000 years old spiritual herbs were their token of gratitude. 100,000 years old spiritual herbs. Su Yan's eyes were filled with passion. Little Ming Ke, on the other hand, was drooling with greed. She wished that she could immediately eat the 5 tufts of spiritual herbs. 100,000 years old spiritual herbs were required to concoct 7th revolution pills. They were extremely precious even to void fragmentation realm old monsters. The two elders of Ling Nan took out 5 tufts of spiritual herbs to repay Ning Fan's kindness. We lost our storage pouches during our escape. We only have these 5 jade boxes with us. We want to give them to fellow Taoist as a token of gratitude for saving our lives. If fellow Taoist isn't satisfied with these gifts, you can come to the Holy Mystic Pavilion in the Middle State in the future. Even though we are rogue cultivators, we also have some forces and businesses. The Holy Mystic Pavilion is one of them. There is no lack of heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures stored in it. If fellow Taoist comes to the Middle State, you can take whatever you want from the pavilion until you're satisfied. We will definitely not stop you. The two elders of Ling Nan gave Ning Fan the 5 jade boxes and promised to give him some treasures. They did not seem to feel any pain at all. Even though 100,000 years old spiritual herbs were precious, they were not worth mentioning compared to their lives. Ning Fan gave the two of them a deep look and kept the jade box. He did not have the intention to decline their offer. Ning Fan could tell that the reason why the two elders of Ling Nan took out such a valuable gift to repay him was because they were grateful but also afraid of him. They were grateful to him for saving their lives, but at the same time, they were afraid of his formidable strength. The reason why the two elders of Ling Nan befriended Ning Fan with such a valuable gift was also because they were afraid that Ning Fan would kill them while they were severely injured. By the way, do you still have the weeds that you plucked from the broken world with you? Ning Fan asked again. Fortunately, I still have them. I didn't lose them. Can I take a look at them? It's just a mere weed. Why do you have to treat me like an outsider? You can just take them. Since this weed could attract so many experts to chase after it, even if it's not a spiritual herb, it might have some special uses. With fellow Taoists' eyesight, you might be able to see through the origin of this weed. Even though the two elders of Ling Nan were certain that this weed was not a spiritual herb, they also suspected that it had some uses. However, since Ning Fan was interested in this weed, they were naturally willing to give it to him. Each of them took out a handful of blood-red weeds and passed them to Ning Fan. Their eyes were filled with anticipation, hoping that Ning Fan could recognize the origin of this weed. The two of them stared at Ning Fan's face. However, Ning Fan took the weed and studied it for a long time without any expression on his face. After a long time, he only indifferently told the two elders of Ling Nan. I don't know about this weed. Is that so? Since even fellow Taoist doesn't know about this weed, I suppose it's useless. The two elders of Ling Nan seemed to believe Ning Fan's words. They no longer mentioned the blood-red weed again. They also did not ask how Ning Fan would deal with the red-haired female cultivator. After chatting with Ning Fan and Su Yan for a while, they wanted to leave. They were in a hurry to find a place to go into seclusion to heal their injuries. Ning Fan did not try to stop them. He allowed them to leave without stopping them. However, before they left, he asked about the location of the ancient cultivators' remains. According to them, the ancient cultivators' remains had already been destroyed by the shockwaves from their battle. Since then, it had collapsed, leaving nothing behind. If Ning Fan wanted to find the remains and enter the broken world that was filled with killing qi, it would be impossible. The two elders of Ling Nan tried their best to invite Ning Fan, hoping that he would visit the Holy Jade Pavilion in the Middle State when he is free in the future. After that, the two of them bid farewell and left. After the two of them left, Ning Fan's eyes flickered slightly. He patted his storage pouch and took out 2 bunches of blood-red weed. Then, he dismissed everyone except Su Yan and Ming Quebec. Could it be that Master has figured out the origin of this weed? Su Yan guessed after seeing Ning Fan dismiss everyone. This weed isn't a medicine, baby. It doesn't taste good, but it's definitely not simple. Ming Ke asserted with her sharp senses towards heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures. That's right. I have indeed figured out the origin of this weed. I also know that it's not simple. This weed's name is blood burial weed. It's considered a rare item even in ancient times. It's not a spiritual herb and it doesn't have any medicinal power. However, it's an indispensable item in the cultivation of some ancient Tao of slaughter cultivation methods. If I'm not mistaken, the female cultivators in the broken world that the two elders of Ling Nan entered were using this weed to cultivate their Tao of slaughter cultivation methods. It's not simple. The red-haired female cultivator whom I captured and the experts in the broken world might have a great background. Ning Fan kept the blood burial weed and continued. The ruins of that ancient cultivator have already collapsed. There's no way to investigate it anymore. The passage to the world passage has also been destroyed by the two elders of Ling Nan. Thus, we can no longer enter that broken world. Perhaps that red-haired female's background isn't simple. However, her companions won't know that she has been captured by me. Thus, they won't be able to leave the broken world. In that case, there won't be any future troubles if I capture this female. This female cultivator would become Ning Fan's first void refinement realm cauldron. She would never be able to escape this fate. There were about 3 days left until they reached Sikong Demon Island. Ning Fan even planned to use the mind-reading technique to interrogate this female cultivator after resting for a while. He wanted to see if he could learn some secrets from her. However, he did not have the time to rest. Not long after the two elders of Ling Nan left, a ray of traveling light which was enshrouded in devil chi dashed towards them at high speed from the horizon. This time, the person who arrived was still a void inquiry stage expert. The devil chi behind him condensed into a black devil cloud which blotted out the sky and the sea. Ning Fan's eyes instantly turned cold. The void inquiry stage old monster who arrived this time was the enemy who locked his killing intent on him just now. This person is very strong. His strength is even stronger than the red-haired female. However, I have never seen his chi before. He is definitely not someone from the rain world. Su Yan's pretty face turned grim. He's the person who locked his killing intent on me just now. So, he isn't a cultivator from the rain world. Interesting. I didn't expect another cultivator from another world to come after the two elders of Ling Nan left. I really want to know why this person has killing intent on me. Yen Air, you protect the silver boat. I will go and meet him. Ning Fan took a step forward and stood in the sky, coldly staring at the direction of the enemy who was approaching him. In that direction, a devil general who was as skinny as a zombie was holding a sovereign execution token in his hand. He stepped on the sky and dashed towards him at full speed. That person was originally very far away from Ning Fan. According to Ning Fan's estimation, he would need at least a few months to catch up to him. However, that person managed to catch up to him in just 1 day. Obviously, he had used some kind of long-distance teleportation technique. Ning Fan really wanted to know why a cultivator from another world would go through so much trouble to hunt him down. There was an aura on that person that Ning Fan hated. That person got closer and closer. When he was 10,000 zhang away from Ning Fan, he stopped and coldly glanced at Ning Fan. He did not even bother to look at him carefully at all. Are you the person whom Lord Moksha's sovereign ordered me to kill? I, Dao Yen, was ordered to kill you. You are just a harmonious spirit realm cultivator. You don't have the right to dirty my hands at all. Kill yourself now and you can avoid being humiliated. Devil General Dao Yan clasped his hands behind his back and closed his eyes. His eyes were filled with disdain. From his point of view, he was a dignified void inquiry stage expert and one of the 10 great devil generals of Nirvana Palace, while Ning Fan was just a mere harmonious spirit realm cultivator. In his opinion, he only needed to unleash his aura force to suppress Ning Fan to death. However, he was too lazy to even release his aura force. Clearly, he looked down on Ning Fan. Moksha Sovereign. Ning Fan's eyes glinted with cold light. He knew why the devil general in front of him wanted to kill him the moment he heard his name. This person was sent by Moksha Sovereign to kill him. This person can be killed. Boom! A wave of aura force that could collapse the heavens and the earth spread out from Ning Fan's body. Under this aura force, Dao Yan suddenly opened his eyes. He was shocked beyond words. What kind of powerful aura force was this? It was countless times stronger than Dao Yan's aura force. Besides, there was also a wave of aura force that originated from his bloodline, causing the circulation of Dao Yan's devil chi and magic power to stagnate. Under this aura force, Ning Fan only took a step forward, but his aura force gushed towards Dao Yan with a force that could topple mountains and fill the seas. Dao Yan felt a sharp pain in his chest. He could not resist Ning Fan's aura force at all and hurriedly took a few steps back. His eyes were filled with astonishment once again. He was one of the 10 great devil generals, but he actually could not resist Ning Fan's aura force at all. You are not a harmonious spirit realm expert. Dao Yan had a vague feeling that something was amiss. Ning Fan, whom he had underestimated, seemed to be a little scary. Chapter 491. Harmonious Spirit. Ning Fan did not answer Dao Yan's question. He just kept repeating the 2 words harmonious spirit realm, as if he was reminiscing the past. Although it had only been 40+ years since he became a harmonious spirit cultivator, his bone age was already close to 500. It had been nearly 500 years since he broke through to the harmonious spirit realm. The assassin sent by Moksha Emperor only thought that Ning Fan was still a harmonious spirit realm cultivator. It turned out that in Moksha Sovereign's eyes, Ning Fan was only worthy to be a harmonious spirit cultivator after 40 years of changes. I seem to have been underestimated by Han Nietian. The Han Nietian that Ning Fan mentioned was the name of Moksha Emperor. How dare you? The name of Moksha Sovereign isn't something an ant like you can call him directly. So what if you are not a harmonious spirit? So what if his aura was shocking? This general has nothing to fear. 3 devil stars flashed in Dao Yan's right eye one after another. For a moment, his aura force skyrocketed by several times, faintly resisting Ning Fan's aura force. Obviously, one of the 3 devil stars had a divine ability that could increase Dao Yan's pressure by several times. The moment he blocked Ning Fan's aura force, Dao Yan sneered. He took a step forward and turned into a 6,000 zhang tall black-armored giant in the sky. The giant took out an item, which transformed into a black spear that was 4,800 meters long. Holding it in his hand, it became his weapon. This black spear was a 1-star divine weapon, but it didn't seem to be as simple as an immemorial divine weapon. The giant's indifferent gaze swept across the area. He caught a glimpse of the silver boat behind Ning Fan and also saw Su Yan and the others. However, he did not pay any attention to them even though Su Yan was a void inquiry stage cultivator. Ning Fan sniffed the air from afar. After the giant took out the black spear, the surrounding air immediately gave off a putrid smell. There was also a slight fishy smell like rotten meat and dead fish. On the black spear, there was a black poisonous glow. These rays of poisonous light gave Ning Fan a rather dangerous feeling, as if they could corrode everything. Once hit by this black spear, no matter what it was, it would be corroded. I am one of the 10 great devil generals under Moksha Sovereign. I wield the immortal decaying spear to kill my enemies. Among the void inquiry stage experts, not even 1 out of 10 can withstand a single strike from me. As for you, you won't be able to receive this general's spear. Chi! The giant's voice was like thunder. He raised his hand and pierced down with his spear. It was like a black bolt of lightning, and it immediately set off countless black winds that swept through the sky. Wherever the gusts of black wind passed, even space itself would be corroded into countless holes. As for the strength of that black spear, it was also extremely powerful. It was enough to kill a void glimpse stage cultivator instantly. In addition to the corrosive power on the black spear, there was really less than 1 in 10 void inquiry stage experts who could withstand it. With just a glance at the black wind, Ning Fan could tell that the spear was extraordinary. However, it was only extraordinary. It was far from enough to hurt him. Traces of essence chi flowed through Ning Fan's entire body. All of a sudden, he summoned the 8 black burning wings. His entire body was engulfed in scorching black flames. With a flap of his wings, he flew towards the incoming gigantic spear. The gigantic spear was 4,800 zhang long, which was countless times larger than Ning Fan. Traces of black wind blew past Ning Fan's white robes, leaving behind traces of corrosion on them. Ning Fan's aura force shook and dispersed the layers of black wind. His body then glowed with dark golden light. His aura force that was comparable to the second level of the Golden Body Refining Realm was also released. Golden Body Second Realm. Demon General Dao Yan was slightly surprised. As the dark golden light enveloped his body, Ning Fan retracted his wings fearlessly and stood in front of the tip of the gigantic spear. Then, he raised one of his hands and pressed it against the tip of the spear with all his might. Boom! This scene looked like a mantis trying to stop a chariot or an ant trying to shake a tree. Amidst the loud collision sound, the sharp tip of the spear only slightly pierced through the golden light on Ning Fan's palm. Then, it no longer had the strength to pierce through it. It could not hurt Ning Fan at all, but its attack was stopped by Ning Fan's palm force. As for the corrosive power on the gigantic spear, it was dispersed by Ning Fan's aura force before it could even get close to Ning Fan. Ning Fan's palm force landed on the tip of the spear without holding back at all. With just a single palm strike, a crack was actually left on the black spear, which was a dignified 1-star divine weapon. After that palm strike, Ning Fan sent out tens of palm strikes at the gigantic spear in an instant. All of them hit the gigantic spear mercilessly. The powerful rebounding force passed through the gigantic spear to the giant's palm, making his palm go numb. He nearly lost his grip on the black spear. As for the gigantic spear itself, more and more cracks appeared on it. Eventually, it shattered into pieces in midair. A dignified 1-star divine weapon was destroyed by Ning Fan just like that. This young man can actually destroy the immortal decaying spear. What a strong strength! Could it be that the strength of his physical body is already comparable to the 3rd level of the Golden Body Realm? Dao Yan's eyes were filled with astonishment. He knew that he did not have the strength to destroy the immortal decaying spear. At their level, even a 1-star divine weapon was not indestructible. Dao Yan could only blame himself for underestimating Ning Fan's strength for losing a divine weapon. The price he had to pay for underestimating Ning Fan was losing a precious treasure. Dao Yan no longer dared to underestimate Ning Fan. His giant body began to display his abilities in the sky. Corrosive Devil True Body, appear. All of a sudden, black wind blew on Dao Yan's giant body. In front of his chest, the black wind condensed into a rotting armor made of black skeletons. Both of his hands were holding a gigantic fishing net magic treasure which was also glowing with corrosive light. This Dao Yan was a cultivator of the corrosive devil veins. Just like the country lord of Shi-Le country, he had also cultivated the true body of the devil veins. He could use magic techniques and abilities to imitate the devil weapons of the ancient fiend gods. That skeleton armor had terrifying defensive power. It was enough to block any void inquiry stage attack. Its toughness was not much weaker than the primordial lightning armor. That fishing net magic treasure gave Ning Fan a deep sense of danger. It was as if it could imprison anyone who falls into the net. Thus, he did not dare to underestimate it. Are these fishing net and skeleton armor the ancient devil weapons that the ancient devil who created the corrosive devil veins relied on to become famous? Without hesitation, Ning Fan summoned his primordial lightning armor to protect himself. This was a battle against the devil body of an ancient fiend god. Of course, he could not underestimate his enemy. At the moment when Ning Fan summoned his primordial lightning armor, Dao Yan's eyes flashed with surprise. Then, a hint of jealousy flashed across his face. Obviously, he noticed that Ning Fan's lightning armor was slightly stronger than his skeleton armor. I corroded my own primordial spirit and paid a huge price to refine my devil armor. Only then did I manage to cultivate this skeletal devil armor after a narrow escape from death. The devil armor that I spent so much effort to cultivate is actually weaker than this young man's lightning armor. This is absolutely impossible. I can't accept this. If I'm not mistaken, this young man should be cultivating the primordial lightning armor of the Rain World's Thunder Sovereign. The Thunder Sovereign is a void fragmentation realm sovereign being who is even more terrifying than Moksha Sovereign. Moreover, it is said that the primordial lightning armor is extremely difficult to cultivate. The only person who could successfully cultivate this technique in the Rain World is the Thunder Sovereign who is already dead. Since this young man managed to cultivate the lightning armor, could it be that his innate talent is comparable to the Thunder Sovereign? Humph. No matter what, I came here under the order of Moksha Sovereign to kill this young man. I must not let him live. Dao Yan's killing intent surged. He raised his hand and took out his fishing net magic treasure and shouted. This net is a heavenly net. The heavenly net is broad but it never escapes. No matter how powerful you are, you won't be able to escape from the shackles of the heavenly net. Only death awaits you. As soon as the giant spread the fishing net, it suddenly disappeared in the sky. It was extremely strange. At the next moment, above Ning Fan's head, under his feet and even in all directions of the sky, crisscrossing grids appeared strangely. Those grids were the traces of the great momentum of the sky being corroded. That technique was obviously the ability to corrode the great momentum of heaven and earth and turn it into a fishing net. From Ning Fan's point of view, all directions were completely surrounded by the heavenly net. There was no way for him to escape. It was as if the entire sky had become Dao Yan's magic treasure. All of a sudden, Ning Fan's eyes widened slightly. He realized that he could no longer move even half a step. There were obviously no ropes binding his body. However, he felt as if the great momentum of heaven and earth had turned into densely packed grids and ropes that restrained him to the point where he could not move at all. It was so oppressive that he found it hard to breathe. The heavenly net, huh? Even though it's not as profound as the heaven sealing technique, it's still quite extraordinary. I suppose the ancient devil who created the corrosive devil veins was certainly not a nameless figure in the ancient times. However, this net can't stop me. Burn! Balls of black devil flames suddenly spread out from Ning Fan's body, burning his surroundings. The fishing net that was formed by the great momentum of heaven and earth gave off sizzling sounds under the burning of the devil flames. It gave off a foul stench. Then, it was completely incinerated by Ning Fan's flames. The remaining demonic flames formed circular rings of fire that surrounded Dao Yan. Flame ring technique. Dao Yan's expression changed drastically. He did not expect that his fishing net would be incinerated. Looking at the devil flames that were rushing towards him and the circles of fire rings and walls that were sealing him, Dao Yan felt his scalp go numb. This black devil flame gave him an extremely dangerous feeling. Its grade was definitely extremely high. However, what was strange was that Dao Yan could not recognize the type of flame. Naturally, Dao Yan did not know that this flame was formed by combining countless spiritual flames. The heavenly frost and earth flames were almost all gathered. The destructive power of the flames was extremely terrifying. After forming 108 layers of flame rings, the sea of flames immediately engulfed Dao Yan. Within the sea of black flames, Dao Yan's muffled groans could be heard. He hurriedly got out of his giant form and forced his way out of the sea of flames by relying on the strength of his skeletal devil armor. When he finally got out of the sea of flames, his face was already pale and his expression was filled with fear. His skeletal devil armor was burnt to a crisp and his entire body seemed to be heavily injured. He was really frightened by Ning Fan's devil flames. If it wasn't for his skeletal devil armor, he would certainly have died in the sea of flames. What a domineering flame! What kind of flame is this? You don't need to know. Ning Fan's urging voice suddenly crossed the layers of flames and approached Dao Yan step by step. His speed was not fast. However, when he used the 8 black burning wings to perform void teleportation, his speed was far beyond Dao Yan's imagination. It was comparable to a void pierce stage expert. Dao Yan's heart was pounding. He was already a little afraid of Ning Fan. He quickly distanced himself from Ning Fan, not daring to let him get close to him. Unfortunately, his speed was slower than Ning Fan's. After a few moves, Ning Fan was already 100 zhang away from him. When they were 100 zhang away, Ning Fan suddenly raised his palm. All of his essence qi turned into a whistling gale and gathered at the center of his palm. Then, he raised his palm and slammed it down. The vast essence qi condensed into a gigantic palm imprint that seemed like it could cover the entire sky. The execution devil palm, the first palm imprint. Boom! When the palm imprint fell, Dao Yan did not dare to receive it with his physical body. Instead, he took out a mortal void treasure in an attempt to block the palm imprint. However, that treasure was directly shattered by the palm imprint. Then, Ning Fan continuously sent out the second and third layers of palm imprints. In an instant, the number of palm imprints had increased to 108. Not good. Facing the 108 layers of the execution devil palm, how would Dao Yan dare to receive it? He was not confident that his skeletal devil armor could withstand the palm imprint. Dao Yan wanted to flee, but he saw Ning Fan pointing his finger at him. Countless red lines spread out from his body, binding him tightly and fixing him in midair. The heaven sealing technique. What kind of sealing technique is this? It's even more powerful than the heavenly net. Dao Yan's heart was filled with fear. He could no longer evade the attack. At the next moment, he was engulfed by the 108 layers of palm imprints. Countless hollow spaces were shattered by the palm imprints. Amidst the deafening sound of the void collapsing, miserable shrieks could be heard intermittently. Of course, they came from Dao Yan. Even with the skeletal devil armor, Dao Yan could not completely neutralize the power of the devil palms. Moreover, after receiving 40 to 50 layers of palm imprints, his devil armor, which was scorched black by the devil flames, was directly shattered into pieces. Dao Yan, who had lost his devil armor, was immediately severely injured by the palm imprints. After receiving 100 layers of palm imprints, Dao Yan's physical body shattered with a bang. He was turned into ashes by the execution devil palm, leaving only a tiny primordial spirit which was swaying under the power of the palm imprints. By the time all 108 layers of palm imprints had gone through, Dao Yan's primordial spirit was already riddled with injuries. Almost at the same time, when the palm imprint stopped, Dao Yan finally broke free from the heaven sealing technique and forcefully teleported away. Moksha Sovereign's order and the glory of the 10 great devil generals were all thrown to the back of his mind. At this moment, Dao Yan deeply realized that he was definitely not Ning Fan's match. Staying in this place would only result in death. Seal. Without giving Dao Yan any chance to escape, Ning Fan pointed his finger again and fixed Dao Yan's primordial spirit in place. In a flash, Ning Fan caught Dao Yan's primordial spirit. It was Dao Yan's first time being captured by someone. He was already panicking. How dare you destroy my physical body? You can't kill me. I'm one of the 10 great devil generals under Moksha Sovereign. If you kill me... Shut up. Soul search. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. Without showing any mercy, he performed the soul-searching technique on Dao Yan. From Dao Yan's memories, Ning Fan learned a lot of information, including the abnormal phenomenon of the royal bloodline in the devil world. From Dao Yan's memories, he also saw the back of the devil race member who awakened the royal bloodline. It was obviously him. Ning Fan frowned deeply. He did not expect that awakening his devil bloodline and returning to his ancestral devil state would actually cause such a huge commotion. Apparently, the reason why Moksha Sovereign sent his men to hunt him down was because he suspected that he had become a royal devil with the royal bloodline. I didn't expect that returning to my ancestral devil state would actually cause such a huge commotion in the devil world. Looking at Dao Yan's primordial spirit which had already turned into an idiot, Ning Fan hesitated for a moment. Then, he swallowed Dao Yan without sparing him. Moksha Sovereign sent Dao Yan to kill Ning Fan. Even if Ning Fan did not kill Dao Yan, it was impossible for him to let Dao Yan go back. Since Dao Yan had not returned for a long time, Moksha Sovereign would eventually know that Dao Yan had failed his mission. Since that was the case, it was meaningless to keep Dao Yan alive. On the silver boat not far away, except for Su Yan and little Ming Ke, everyone else was stunned. Revered Ming is really too strong. Not only did he capture that red-haired female cultivator, he even killed a black-armored devil general. Could he be a Void Pierce stage expert? Otherwise, how could he be so strong? That black-armored devil general seemed to have mentioned Moksha Sovereign. Could it be that this devil general is a subordinate of Moksha Sovereign in the devil world? Didn't revered Ming offend Moksha Sovereign by killing this devil general? Exclamations of surprise woke Ning Fan up from his thoughts. Before dealing with Dao Yan's primordial spirit and pondering about the hidden danger of his devil bloodline, it seemed like it was necessary to erase the divine transformation realm memories of his followers. In the devil world, Moksha Sovereign who was sitting on his throne had his eyes closed as if he was in a deep sleep. Suddenly, he opened his eyes slightly and revealed a shocked expression. Then, he took out a string of black prayer beads from his robes. There were 10 beads in total. 9 of them were glowing faintly while the 10th bead was already dim. Dao Yan is dead. Chapter 492. Dao Yan's death was beyond Moksha Sovereign's expectation. He had never thought that one of the 10 great devil generals would fail to kill a harmonious spirit junior. Moksha Sovereign did not think that the person who killed Dao Yan would be Ning Fan. In his opinion, Dao Yan's means were not weak. The person who could kill Dao Yan in the rain world must at least be a Void Pierce stage cultivator. As for the Void Pierce stage cultivators of the rain world, each and every one of them would be more or less loyal to the Rain Palace. The rain world was unique. It was ruled by only one sovereign and one palace. Unless one broke through to the Void Fragmentation realm, no one would be able to disregard the Rain Sovereign's orders. Was it the Rain Emperor's doing? The last time I descended upon the rain world, I had already offended the Rain Sovereign. So, he secretly sent someone to eliminate Dao Yan to show off his might to me? Humph. Yun Zhongshuan, how dare you kill my men? Yun Zhongshian was the name of the current Rain Emperor. Moksha Sovereign was almost certain that the one who dared to kill Dao Yan in the rain world must be the Rain Palace. It was not that he did not suspect Ning Fan. It was just that Moksha Sovereign did not believe that a harmonious spirit realm junior could attain the Void Inquiry stage in just 40 years and possess the strength to kill Dao Yan. This was an extremely absurd thing. According to Moksha Sovereign's deduction, 40 years was not even enough for Ning Fan to eliminate his heart devil and form his gold core. It can't be that ant. It must be the Rain Palace. Yun Zhongshuan, I will remember this debt. Moksha Sovereign kept the sense beads and closed his eyes once again. He sat silently in the main hall, concealing his anger without leaving a trace. If Moksha Sovereign finds out that Ning Fan was the one who killed Dao Yan, he would probably send 1 or 2 of his subordinates to continue pursuing Ning Fan. Unfortunately, he never thought that Ning Fan had such an outstanding cultivation base. Since he had already vented his anger on the Rain Palace, it was naturally impossible for him to recklessly send his subordinates into the Rain world. How to get there? If one of them went, the Rain Emperor would assassinate one of them. Was he supposed to send the subordinates that he had painstakingly cultivated to the Rain realm to die? However, the uneasiness in the depths of Moksha Sovereign's heart grew stronger and stronger. That ant, is he really a harmonious spirit? Moksha's sovereign suddenly opened his eyes, unable to vent the uneasiness in his heart. After a long time, he sneered and closed his eyes. This emperor doesn't believe it. What Ning Fan did not know was that his action of killing Dao Yan had already caused Moksha's sovereign to vent his anger on the Rain Palace, and he no longer dared to send anyone into the Rain world recklessly. He returned to the silver boat and instructed Su Yen to continue sailing towards Sikong Demon Island. He returned to the cabin and entered the Yuanya world. He started to adjust his energy and organize his gains from the two battles. The first reward was killing one of Moksha's sovereign's capable subordinates. To Ning Fan, this had a special meaning. The reason why he had killed Dao Yan was not only out of hatred, but also after some consideration. If he didn't kill Dao Yan, there was no way he would let him go either. At the very most, he would capture Dao Yan's primordial spirit and imprison it in his storage pouch. Since Dao Yan had yet to return after so long, Moksha's sovereign must have also found out that Dao Yan had gone missing. Instead, he might send more people to investigate Dao Yan's whereabouts or assassinate him. If Dao Yan dies, Moksha's sovereign might still go after Ning Fan. However, he might also become suspicious and fearful of Dao Yan and not dare to send his subordinates into the Rain world recklessly. In reality, there was not much difference between the two outcomes. To Ning Fan, it was impossible for him to avoid confronting Moksha's sovereign since the day he became his enemy. The way to resolve the enmity between him and Moksha's sovereign wasn't to run away, but to become stronger. Strong enough to kill Moksha's sovereign once and for all. Killing Dao Yan was a wake-up call to Ning Fan. He could not be satisfied with the current situation. He must improve his cultivation base and obtain the power to fight against Moksha's sovereign. My magic power is still at the half-step void refinement realm. If I have enough pills to provide me with magic power, I am confident that I can directly advance to the void inquiry stage after a long period of seclusion. After all, I had passed the void inquiry stage hurdle by luck when I was still in the Star Palace. Now, what I lack to break through to the void inquiry stage is not the comprehension of the void but magic power. As for my ancient devil cultivation base, the reason why I could smoothly advance to the mid-reckless devil realm in one go is also because I had broken through the void inquiry stage hurdle that day. Unfortunately, be it breaking through to the void pierce stage in magic power or breaking through to the late reckless devil realm in my ancient devil cultivation base, none of them are easy for me. In the end, if I want to break through to the late void refinement realm or the late reckless devil realm, I need to at least comprehend the void to the void pierce stage. However, this is a little difficult. The pills that can improve the cultivation base of the void inquiry stage and void pierce stage are all mid-grade 6th revolution and above. Even if I break through to the 6th revolution pill master, I will only be a low-grade 6th revolution pill master. It is impossible for me to concoct a mid-grade 6th revolution pill master in a short period of time. As for the Dao fruit, in order to raise the cultivation base of the void inquiry stage and void pierce stage, one must consume at least a void refinement realm Dao fruit. The number of void refinement realm experts in the Rain world can be counted on one's fingers. Even if I kill all of them, I will only obtain 1 or 2 void refinement realm Dao fruits at most. It's impossible to raise your cultivation with Dao fruits. The only thing I can rely on is the method of plucking human cauldrons. After all, plucking a void refinement realm human cauldron was much easier than killing 100 void refinement realm cultivators to obtain a void refinement realm Dao fruit. As for the origin of the furnace, in the Yuanya world, Ning Fan sat cross-legged on the 4th floor of the dark golden pagoda. With a flick of his cauldron ring, he took out an unconscious red-haired lady and casually threw her on the cold ground beside him. Coincidentally, he managed to capture a void refinement realm cauldron. This was the second biggest gain of the day. Other than the red-haired lady herself, Ning Fan had also learned another important information from the conversation between the two Ling Nan elders. Back then, in the broken world that Ling Nan and Ling Nan had entered, a large number of experts resided, and these experts were all female cultivators. Each of these women was full of primordial Yin energy. Among them, there was no lack of divine transformation realm and void refinement realm cultivators. What was more frightening was that there was actually at least one void fragmentation realm female cultivator among them. Every single one of these women possessed an extremely heavy killing intent, and they were like mad devils that killed indiscriminately. None of them were good people. There is a small kiliacosm broken world filled with blood burial grass. There are many female cultivators who cultivate the slaughter Tao, and they can all be captured as cauldrons. However, I don't know how many experts there are, whether it's dangerous to enter the broken world, how to enter the broken world, and what is the background of these women. If I don't figure out these things, it's impossible for me to go to that place to catch the cauldron. Ning Fan glanced at the red-haired lady from the corner of his eyes. If he wants to know everything, it would be faster to interrogate this lady. With a flick of his sleeve, a gust of wind swept the unconscious woman into his arms. He pointed his finger at the center of the woman's eyebrows, and the woman immediately let out a groan and woke up. However, as soon as she woke up and saw that she was lying in Ning Fan's arms, her eyes immediately flashed with killing intent. She opened her mouth and spat out a blood-red thunderbolt at Ning Fan's head, intending to destroy his sea of consciousness. "I'm going to kill you." The lady's tone was cold and emotionless. Ning Fan gently tilted his head and dodged the blood-red thunderbolt. Once again, he pointed his finger at the lady's breasts and channeled the power of his plucking finger into her body, causing her body to go limp and lose all of her magic power. However, she did not fall unconscious. Ning Fan was never a soft-hearted person. In other words, fate did not give him the chance to be soft-hearted. He was gentle to many women he liked, but it did not mean that he would be soft-hearted to his enemies. This red-haired lady wanted to kill Ning Fan without any reason. As long as Ning Fan's techniques were weak, he would die in her hands. Ning Fan had a clear conscience and it was impossible for him to be polite to her. "Who are you and where did you come from? If you have the guts, just kill me. Why do you need to talk so much? The palace lord will naturally avenge me. Don't even think about getting information from me. Even if you search my soul and memory, you definitely won't be able to pry into the memories in my sea of consciousness because my sea of consciousness has turned into the form of killing chi." The lady was rather strong-willed. She was stronger than many men. She stared at Ning Fan coldly as if she was indifferent to life and death. She did not even blink her eyes. However, this lady did not know that even though she did not answer Ning Fan's question directly, Ning Fan had already read her mind using the mind-reading technique. This lady's name was rather strange. In the place where she lived, she was called number 431. She actually used the serial number as her name. The small kiliacosm that she lived in was called the Blood Slave Garden. It was a garden where an ancient cultivator lived millions of years ago. Currently, there was a total of 1 void fragmentation realm, 500 void refinement realm cultivators and tens of thousands of divine transformation realm cultivators in the broken world. All of them were women. There were no men nor any nascent soul realm or gold core realm cultivators. When Ning Fan received this information, he frowned slightly. After just asking the red-haired lady the first question, the doubts in his heart did not decrease but increased instead. Whether it was the lady's serial number or the name of the Broken World Garden, all of them made Ning Fan doubtful. What puzzled Ning Fan the most was that there were no cultivators below the divine transformation realm in this blood slave garden, let alone male cultivators. This blood slave garden had been abandoned for at least hundreds of thousands of years. The owner of this world had already passed away a long time ago. The female cultivators who lived in this world today were all living beings that were born in the later generations. Generally speaking, in order to continue life, a male and a female would have to mate with each other no matter what. However, there were no men in this world. Why could it continue living for millions of years? Could it be that all the men in this world had died recently? However, it did not seem like it. Generally speaking, other than a few special forbidden areas, there would be more low-level cultivators than high-level cultivators in any place. The greater the base number of low-level cultivators, the more high-level cultivators would be produced. There were no gold core realm or nascent soul realm cultivators in the blood slave garden, but there were divine transformation realm, void refinement realm and even void fragmentation realm cultivators. This was just too abnormal. Could it be that all the low-level cultivators in this broken world had died in recent years? This seemed rather unlikely. Why are you called number 431? This is my name since I was born. It's none of your business. The lady was very stubborn. Who was the original owner of the blood slave garden? You don't deserve to know. The lady was still as stubborn as before. Why are there no male cultivators or low-level cultivators in the blood slave garden? Humph. The lady directly ignored Ning Fan. Who is the palace lord that you mentioned just now? Could it be the void fragmentation realm female cultivator in the blood slave garden? Pa. Do you think the palace lord is someone you can ask questions about? When she answered the last question, the lady directly spat a mouthful of saliva at Ning Fan. Of course, Ning Fan easily dodged it and did not mind it at all. Ning Fan did not care about the lady's vengeful actions. His expression was solemn. He had found out some incredible information from the lady's mind. Why was the broken world called the blood slave garden? Why were there no male cultivators or low-level cultivators in it? Why was it filled with blood burial grass? Ning Fan knew all of them. He carefully sized up the lady in his arms. Originally, he already felt that this lady's killing intent was a little too heavy. Now, he finally knew the reason. So you are a flower devil? Ning Fan said with a sharp gaze. What? How did you know? The lady immediately revealed a shocked expression. The so-called flower devil was a devil creature that was cultivated from special flowers and plants using special methods. Just like cultivating pill devils, there were also powerful cultivators in ancient times who cultivated special devil creatures for special purposes. This red-haired lady whose name was number 431 was the flower devil that was successfully formed from a blood burial grass in the blood slave garden. Of course, it was extremely difficult for a flower devil to take form. It was not as easy as a pill devil. That broken world called the blood slave garden must have a heaven-shaking grand formation that could accelerate the growth of the blood burial grass into a flower devil. The flower devils that the grand formation needed were at least at the divine transformation realm. Therefore, it skipped the vein opening, harmonious spirit, gold core, and nascent soul realms to directly produce flower devils that were above the divine transformation realm. The blood burial grass was of the Yin attribute. The grand formation was also set to stimulate the Yin attribute. Therefore, the flower devils that were produced were only female. The blood burial grass was a grass of slaughter. Therefore, the female cultivators that were born from it were filled with killing intent. Their killing intent was intense and they were like crazy devils. In the memories of the ancient Chaos Great Emperor, the cultivation of devil creatures was mentioned. It also mentioned a few words about flower devils. It mentioned that the cultivation of any devil creature must be done step by step from the vein opening realm. Otherwise, it would leave a huge flaw in the devil creature. For example, the little pill devil Ming Ke was raised from a pill step by a true immortal. Without skipping the steps, she directly attained a profound cultivation base. As for these flower devils, they already possessed a divine transformation realm cultivation base as soon as they were born. Their flaws were huge. Ning Fan did not answer the red-haired lady's question. Instead, he directly held her wrist and spread out his spirit sense to enter her body. After doing so, he immediately discovered that this red-haired lady's lifespan was extremely short. An ordinary divine transformation realm cultivator could live for 4,000 to 5,000 years while a void refinement realm cultivator could live for more than 10,000 years. However, she could only live for 500 years. Her lifespan was only 1/20th of an ordinary cultivator's. Besides, after leaving the blood slave garden, the red-haired lady aged faster and her lifespan decreased exponentially. This was also one of the drawbacks of a flower devil being produced at a faster speed. There was only one way to save this flower devil, and that was to use a special method to destroy her cultivation base so that she could cultivate again. Of course, there were many ways to destroy her cultivation base. One of them was to pluck her. Ning Fan's gaze towards the red-haired lady was devoid of pity. He was just pondering. The information he obtained from the lady's mind was far more than that. As he expected, the so-called palace lord was the only female cultivator in the blood slave garden. Just like the red-haired lady, she was also a flower devil that was produced by the blood burial grass. However, what was beyond Ning Fan's expectation was that the former master of the blood slave garden had a terrifying background. Fu Linglong, an elder of the Slaughter Palace 6. 4 million years ago, Ning Fan had never expected that this broken world would actually be related to the famous Slaughter Palace. The so-called Slaughter Palace was a force of the four heavens, but it was not one of the four major forces. The Lost World Palace of the Northern Heaven, the Godly Void Pavilion of the Eastern Heaven, the Purple Prefecture Academy of the Southern Heaven and the Kunlun Jade Pool of the Western Heaven did not include the Slaughter Palace. The Slaughter Palace was extremely unique. It only recruited one disciple every 1,000 years. However, each of its disciples would certainly become a peerless assassin who could run amok in the four heavens after being nurtured by the Slaughter Palace. They could kill immortals like ants. As for the Palace Lord of the Slaughter Palace, his cultivation base was even more unfathomable. As an elder of the Slaughter Palace, Fu Linglong's identity was even more special. The origin of this blood slave garden could not be said to be insignificant. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.